and good evening, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. I'm having a great Sunday and I'm looking forward to doing a few of your readings. I'm just going to go in there and see if I can bring up the live stream so I can show the comments as they come in. So let me go into the window. Bear with me for a moment. Oh, don't want to hear my voice. So I'm going to go over and hopefully we can get these comments coming through. I don't know how this works, so I've never really copied that part of the screen before, but let me see if I can do that now. So far, nobody's there. It's very, very quiet. So let me see if I can get that part of the screen to show. Here we go. It's a little movement at the station. Just get all this set up so that everyone that comes along, we will see your little comments begin to appear, hopefully, if it goes to plan. So for those who may be coming on at the moment, let's see if we have any. Hello, Lita. Thank you for popping on and saying hello. You're showing up there, which is great. So consider a wave from me. Tracy Cowling, thank you. I am, and I'm loving it. I absolutely love it. And it's always good when you're doing readings and you've just got such a good mood to do them in, because I tell you honestly, I've had that much energy around me from spirit. It's been mind-blowing. And just some of the feedback that I've been receiving also from my other sites that I do readings through has been phenomenal. So it's a good feeling to know that the messages are being interpreted right from spirit. So firstly, what I'm going to be doing is I've just lit some incense. I'm going to let the aroma fill the room. It smells like I don't know whether you can remember they're like minties, but they're like a musk smell. It's that kind of smell that is, you know, like the aroma, and it's lovely. So I'm going to wait for a few more people to come on, and with this particular one, it's those who are actually in the live stream who will be benefiting. But do make sure that if you do participate in this, you haven't had any reading whatsoever by myself or any other person within the last 3 months. It's really important, because otherwise you'll get false positives. I'll be completely off with timing of events, and there are cases where things just won't make any sense, and that's because you get the reading too soon, because it follows on from where the last one left off. And we've got some more people. Oh no, it's still Tracy. Not at all. I've just started this live stream, Tracy, but if you haven't had any reading by anyone else, great, because I don't want that to be interfering with the reading itself. So it's really important that we have this, you know, work properly. Excuse me, I'm doing a live stream. I'll have to call you back. Okay. Won't be one moment. Sorry about this. Always, it's like children, when you're doing something they want to interrupt. Hello, Sharra. Okay, so yes, with this I'm going to be doing pretty much like the the readings that I did the other day. The only difference is, instead of you all writing up your dates of births and everything prior to it and then missing out on it, I'm going to be doing only for those who are in the live stream itself. So we've got a few more turning up. Gabrielle, Sharra, Jody, we've got Tracy on, we have Lita. So you can actually see as I scroll here the people that are coming on. So thank you so much for being a part of that, and I really do hope that tonight your answers will be given to you. Keep in mind, I will welcome spirit through, but I won't have time to be, you know, sitting there for every single Tom, Dick and Harry, if you will, passing messages back and forth. I want to try and focus on, you know, okay, if you've got something to tell me, just tell me. Don't hang about and and ah about things, but I'm not going to force them anyway. If they come through, they come through. If they don't, they don't. But as long as I'm getting the right information to pass on to you, that's what matters. So what I will do is just make sure, again, that everyone is aware that with this particular offer, when I do this, it's a quick random reading, which means that keep in mind, depending on how many jump on, not everyone will probably get a chance to have a reading. But if you have not had any reading, and that includes other people reading for you, typed readings, email readings, sample readings, readings that you've done for yourself, or readings by me, if you have not had any in the last 3 months, you can enter. If you have, please don't enter, because I really don't want to screw it up. And that would be how it would come across, because it would be too soon to do a reading, any type of reading, on anybody if they have had one already within the past 3 months. It's just too soon. So this is from my own personal experience, and even Spirit has said readings continue where the last one left off. So if you want perfect readings, make sure you space them. Don't get to the point where you're having a reading upon reading upon reading, because a lot of people, what they do, and I've found this even on my hotline, you'll get a phone call from somebody and it's just, it's incredible, because they will want a reading, and if they don't hear what they want to hear, then they go away, and then they come back and they try to fake their voice. And I've caught them out that many times. I've said, no, I'm not going to read for you again. It's too soon. You've already got what's come through. And then they, oh, how did you know it was me? Well, duh, I'm a psychic. So with the reading, eventually you will hear what you want to hear, because the thing is, if you get no coming through from any reader, it doesn't mean they're a bad reader. It means that the message at the time is saying it is not in your favor, whatever this answer may be. So hi to everybody. Lovely to see your beautiful faces there, and big smiles. Look at you all. Oh, lovely. So just know, best timing is 3 to 6 months. It keeps you healthy, it keeps you having a better karmic flow, and it prevents all the garbage build up in your life. Because if you get one reading and it says no, and then you go back and you get another one, even from somebody else, and they say no, some people aren't content with that. So then they are like adamant, I have to have a yes. And then someone comes and gives them a yes, and nothing happens. And then they're disappointed and they say, well, you told me yes. Well, given the fact you've had a reading upon reading upon reading, the timeline's stuffed up, which means that eventually that timeline could be reading ahead 2 years. So bear in mind, that's what happens when you have too many readings close to each other. They carry on where the last one left off, and who knows how far ahead they read for you. So the timing may be out, but the answer will eventually get to a yes. So I hope that it makes people aware of why it's important to keep the gap. And okay, so I'm going to say a few shout outs here, because we've got some I see popping up. Robin, who says, I feel like my son has been asking me to contact him. That's beautiful, Robin. Just out of interest, is your son quite tall? Because I've been having a young male around me who is quite tall, almost beach looking. He was telling me about the surfboard, and he loved the surfboard on the beach. So I don't know who he's with, but if that is a son connected with you, I'm not getting like a baby. I have to be honest with you, I'm getting like a mature adult. And I actually was told by this one earlier today, who just didn't connect with any of my readings. And I said, well, look, I'm going on Facebook tonight, and if you're connected with anyone from Facebook, then pop in, tell me whatever. And he just said, look, can you just say I love the surfboard and thank you. So I don't know what the surfboard means, but he did look like a bit of a surfy, I've got to say that. So if that message is for you or for anyone who is on the stream tonight, and he didn't say his name though, but I actually felt something familiar with him. So I don't know whether I've read for you before or there's been any connection, but I'm just going to tell you whilst I'm reminded, because I saw a son there, and I don't know whether this is your son or someone else's, but it triggered my memory for what happened earlier today. Okay, so we've got here Lita. I switched to my mobile data, not my home internet, and it worked a bit better. Oh, here we go. We've got it cuts out. Isn't the internet wonderful in this day and age? It's cutting out on me. What is this? Okay, so the good thing is it's recording to the computer. That's why you can hear the fan going mad on the computer, because it's saving in real time as I talk. So that's the beauty of the computer. So if you don't hear everything, don't panic. It will be uploaded to actually YouTube, the full version, because I noticed last time when I did the readings, it sort of cut out towards the end. Why, I don't know, because I was still talking and way past where it stopped. But what do you do? But please don't blame me for it cutting out. It's not my fault. Otherwise I would say, I'm to blame, and you're going to have to crucify me or something like that. I don't know, burn me at the stake for the internet cutting out. So what I'm going to do is just make sure that if everyone can put up yes or no, if you've had a reading in the last 3 months by me or anyone else, just start writing yes or no. No one's writing anything. It must have cut out. Okay, I'll say it again. If nobody has had a reading by myself or anyone else in the last 3 months, type no. If you have had a reading by me or anyone else in the last 3 months, type yes. Okay, we've got ones around here at the moment. If you're here for any of the people that are in the live stream, Spirit, you can also come up and they might be able to hear you talking into the microphone. If you can come close to the microphone. Okay, so can anybody hear now? Let me know. Can you hear me? Okay, let me go on and have a look-see. Let's see what's happening from my almost beach looking. He was telling me very far behind. Okay, so that's him. I'm a little bit delayed, so that's why it's all okay. Got it. Understand now why. Okay. All right. There's a. Okay. Bear with me for one moment. I'm just going to scroll down so I can read your messages. Okay, you haven't had any readings. Wonderful. Okay. Just turned off Wi-Fi. I'm back. Yes, that's him. Okay, well that's perfect. But he must have known. What a little bugger. He must have known that you were trying to contact me or something. Or you were contacting me. Isn't it amazing how spirit know? They are incredible. Jody Rinkin is asking, how long after death can you make contact? Well, on principle, Jody, I leave that up to the spirit. It is not up to me, but I do recommend, as a person is transitioning to the other side, you've got to respect that this is a new, complete new world to them. This is a complete new existence to them. And just as we grieve for our loved ones, we are having to transition and get used to a new world without them being physically in it. They too have to adjust. And sometimes they resist going over. And it's not because they don't want to or they can't. It's because they feel an obligation to stay and comfort those that they have left behind. Some spirits have actually felt quite guilty for leaving. What I've found, a lot of the older people who, you know, they're looking forward to going, but then they feel, you know, look what I've done, look how I've hurt the family. They have this, you know, so anyone who has a loved one who is elderly, reassure them. Just reassure them that, you know, when that time does come, that it will be okay. That you want them to be happy to go over, so that way they're not feeling restricted. Because one thing I do need to mention is release your loved ones. Allow them to cross over so they're not feeling the obligation to stay. Because once they cross over, they will be able to come and visit more than they would if they were stuck here. Because once they don't cross over, as an example, you'll find that those spirits do become quite bitter and almost to the point where they're angry, because eventually they do see their other ones crossing over, but they can't cross over because they have become weighted. They have become stuck to this realm, and trying to remove themselves from that, you know, is very difficult. And that's why they'll often ask for help. You know, help me to cross over, because they've seen their loved ones going, but they can't go with them. So it's always important to let them have permission to leave. It's not that it's going to be forever, because believe it or not, our time compared to that of spirit is man-made. Their time is like a blink of an eye, pretty much, and they see us. They see when we're ready to go. So a lot of times they'll become closer to us, especially when we need support. Obviously with Robin, you need his comfort, and he feels and senses that grieving that you're still going through. I feel like this has been some time, Robin, and you're still aching, which is a very natural thing for any parent to do. So know that this is a natural process. It's you know, this energy is still maturing. He's not remaining a child, he's growing in spirit. And I actually feel that he loves to do things around a younger female. So I don't know whether you've got like another child, but I get this connection with a younger female, like watching over them, checking out who they're dating. So it'll be interesting to know what comes back from you, whether there is or not. I've no idea. But as you can see, I've just got this screen showing on here, so I can only see what is showing up that you can see over here on this. Okay, so let's have a look here. All right, so let me try and move my mic over a little more. Tell me if that's a bit better. I'm almost on top of it. It should work. It's one of those expensive Rode things. Yes, I can see it's going interrupted. Okay. Alrighty. Now, let me have a look. Keeps cutting out. Mine cut off. Okay. No. Good. Lots of people. Okay. So this is good because it means that you qualify. Okay. I think I need a reading. Hi Karen, you are amazing. I have not had a reading in the last 3 months. Good girl. Okay, no wonder I'm broke. No, I'm only joking. All right, so let me have a look. Thank you, Karen. You're amazing. No need for compliments. I'm not amazing. You know, if you're going to write you're amazing, write spirit you're amazing, because they're the ones who, if it wasn't with them giving me information, I would know jack, because I'm not a textbook person. I've never studied this. I'm not going to lie to anyone and say, oh yes, I've studied this. I've got honors on the wall of being, you know, a psychic or being a medium and being, you know, clairaudient and so on. I don't have that. I don't have certificates. I haven't passed any big tests or anything like that with some kind of psychic business to say that I can read. It's God knows why it's chosen me, but it's chosen. And I believe everyone has psychic ability. It's just how much you want to connect with it, and you learn at your own pace. It is something that you always learn. Trust me. It's a matter of listening to your gut instinct as well. Women have brilliant gut instincts. So it's amazing seeing all these women on here, and you've got all that gut instinct inside of you, and that is what you need to listen to develop yourself. So what I'm going to do now, because I've got enough people on here, I think. Sorry about it cutting in and out. I know it's frustrating, but yes, I can see it's sort of like stalling. I'm actually using Wi-Fi, which is a pain, but where I am in the house, you know, I got no choice, because I've got a child who is playing games at the moment, and she's only allowed to play games for a certain amount of time before it's shushy buys. Okay, so now I'm going to ask, pop down those who have not had a reading in the last 3 months. Put your date of birth down, and I will begin to do readings. Now keep in mind, I won't probably be able to get through everybody's, but I'll try and get through as many as I can. So start putting down your date of births, and I will begin working with that. So I have spoken to him before. Okay. Oh, bless your heart. Yeah, try resetting your phone. But don't forget, even if you don't catch it all and you miss out on certain bits, don't panic. Please don't panic, because I am saving this in real time. That's why you can hear the motor going like crazy on my computer here. And that will then be uploaded to YouTube. Now, I will try to get through as many as I can. Hello, Kim Mulrooney. I can't get it to play. I hope all those that need messages receive them. How beautiful is that? Thank you, Kim. Okay. So I'll just sit patiently and wait. In the meantime, I'll do some ASMR for you. There you go. Crinkling sounds. And this is something I'm getting into as a little bit of a side hobby, everyone. So I don't know whether you're familiar with ASMR, but it is really relaxing, especially when you pop on headphones and you just lay down, close your eyes, and you listen to people playing with plastic, and it's very, very relaxing, believe it or not. And then you have like this kind of, it feels like a brain massage. Okay, so let's wait patiently for those people. And I've got the most heavenly smell of musk around me. Oh, I feel like I'm back in, when did musk sticks come out? I used to sell them in the tuck shop. Yes, they called it a tuck shop in my day. we had musk sticks, we had redskins, we had boiled lollies, Molly's boiled lollies. Can you believe they sold those at our tuck shop? And licorice straps, the choo-choo licorice straps. Oh no. Okay, all right, well, what I'll do, I'll stop it as requested and I'll restart it again. Okay, alrighty. Okay, let's cross our fingers, legs, toes and eyes and hope that we have this once more working without the dropouts. I'm wondering if it could be because I had an age restriction on, because there is some who don't realize, but I don't read for people who are under the age of 18, just as a matter of principle, because their karmic path is still being set out, and I really don't believe in reading for anyone who is under the age of 18 for that as principle. So I'm going to bring up our... You're back, Tracy. Welcome. Okay, so hopefully this one works good. So it's working well. Yeah, I had an age restriction on, so it must have been filtering at the same time. Naughty me, naughty Karen. Okay, so now we've come to realize that there are many who have not had a reading in the past 3 months. I don't know whether that's good or bad. Okay, so if everyone can put down your date of birth starting with day, month, year. And what I'll do is I will randomly select one at a time. As I mentioned, I may not be able to get through everybody's. One good thing is we had established the young male who was around me earlier today, and I kept saying to everyone that I was reading, do you know this young male who was a cheeky thing too, because he'd run in and he'd giggle and he'd run out. And I'd be like, okay, I've got this male. And at one point I said, are you going to talk or are you just going to run in and out of my room? And he said, say thanks for the surfboard. So I don't know what the surfboard meant. I still don't know what the surfboard means. But there's something about a surfboard, and he definitely looked like what I would refer to as a young surfy kind of guy. Very cute button nose features, but as I mentioned, I actually felt there was something about him that was familiar to me, but I see that many spirits, I lose track of who's who. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let me have a look. I'll go with Natalie first because she was first cut off the rank. So Natalie, the 13th of the 7th, 1975. Now, let me just grab my calculator and I'm going to work out your spirit path, which is using a divination method through the calculator. It is not numerology. I've had so many people say, oh, you're doing numerology. It's not numerology. It's actually a process called spirit path. And this was taught to me by Soella, who is my guide and my teacher. She's my go-to with questions. And sometimes I bug her with a lot of questions. So let's have a look here. Okay, so you're technically in your 6th life there, Natalie. And just in case we have another Natalie on here, the Natalie that I'm reading for today is Natalie, oh, I think I've gone past it, Natalie Preston. It's just so that in case there's another Natalie who happens to come on and hear it and thinks I'm talking about them. So being in your 6th life, you're the peacemaker. And anyone who is in their 6th life usually have these traits. They become very peaceful people. They want to explore. I get a lot of times those in their 6th life have this connection with overseas. They are either from a culture background that come from overseas, or they actually find themselves marrying into a person's, you know, who has come from a overseas background, but they have to keep the connection there regardless. Oh, that's where my nail polish went. Okay, just found my nail polish. All right, so that was completely off topic, very random. So you're actually ruled by Mercury, and those that are ruled by Mercury, they tend to be what I refer to as the controller. They've got a lot of wisdom. Their personality is very intelligent to things connecting with the world. So you might find yourself getting very emotional when you see things like, you know, events that are happening to either young children or to animals. What I find those people that are, you know, ruled by, or their controller, I keep saying ruled by, but it's not, they're ruled by something else, but the controller of life is that of Mercury. I get restlessness around you though, Natalie, and at times you've got this, it's like you have to have the last say. I don't know whether you're connecting with this at the moment, but I've got to tell you, this is what Spirit's telling me. And I'm having a bit of a giggle because they're saying, yep, they've got to have the last say. If someone says something, you can't leave it at that. You've got to have your say before you're satisfied. And then if they say something, it's like, no, I'm having a last say. I feel like your lucky days are going to be Wednesdays, because obviously that is a Mercury affluent. Your lucky numbers, if you want to write these down, and this is for those who are Mercury. So if I say that you're a Mercury, you've got that as your life controller, these will be your lucky numbers: 3, 6, 12, 21 and 24. And your lucky months are March, June and December. Any type of grey, if you go for an interview, make sure you've got grey on. And if you can fit interviews on Wednesdays, you've got it home and hosed. Now, looking at your path for this year, Natalie. Whoa. Close. Okay, so interesting enough, I do feel this is a year where you're going to have applications going out. You might even find yourself having girls' nights out. There's something to celebrate. I'm seeing changes around friendships developing and changes overall. It's like this year you've got the green light to go ahead with plans. So if there's been anything that's been, you know, held up from the past, that's like change or transition, is around you at the present, which is going to make you move forward in a more positive direction. But don't become your own worst enemy, because you're getting very impatient, and I feel like there's that, it's like impatience around you, and this is going to be through this year. Now this can be, yep, I hear you, I hear people out there saying this can relate to anyone, and a lot of times, yes, a lot of the readings can. It's sort of like if you go to church and the topic of the day happens to be what is being preached, it somehow is like, hang on, is this preacher talking about me? That's where you'll find a lot of things make sense to you, even if they are directed at someone else, because readings, especially in group situations like this, can connect with many people, not just one. So sometimes some of our greatest teachers are listening to what's going on. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to concentrate on your name, Natalie Preston, and I've got your name and date of birth up there for a reason, so I can focus on it. That's what I'm seeing. What you see on the screen is what I'm seeing. So this is a good way for you to see also, and this is what I like about live streaming, is people can see how I work. It's what you see on the screen right in front of you is all that I've got on my screen. I'm got a snapshot basically of what that window shows. I can scroll this window, I can scroll it up, or I can scroll it down, and that is what's in front of me, which means that you can see if I click on your name, then you know I'm looking at your profile. I don't do that stuff because there's no need to. Usually I won't even know your name when I'm doing a reading, and I think that's the best way to work. Know nothing about the person. The less you know, the more that will come through. And to anyone who out there is watching who does readings, try it. Really try it, because there are too many that really bring this business or this industry down by, and I've heard of cases, and sorry to get off track here, I've heard of cases where people have been approached by someone saying that they are a medium or a psychic by their inbox, or they're saying they approach them. If anyone ever approaches you out of the blue, be suspicious, Be very suspicious. They have either checked out your profile or they have looked up something about you. And that is not the way of spirit. Spirit have always said to me, if I were to approach someone in the street and tell them their mother was hanging around them, they would abandon me. And I thought, wow, that's pretty extreme. And they said, no, that's ego seeking. Ego seeking was the word they used. Don't do it, Karen, or we will leave you. And I don't want them to leave me because I would be lost, seriously. So I'm going to concentrate now. So shut up, Karen. Concentrate on Natalie Preston, the 9th of March, 1988. Hang on a minute. Where did... Oh, you know what? I'm going to have to do that again, Natalie. Your date of birth, because I looked at the number above you and put 1975, which was Stephanie's. Ah, no wonder I'm thinking, hang on, this is a bit weird. All right, so I'm going to redo that. 13. Because I reckon you're sitting there saying, huh? That doesn't make any sense, Karen. So let's have a look. There we go. It doesn't make any sense. All right. So you're actually in your first life. So it's because for some reason I'm writing the 9th of the 3rd, and then for some reason my eyes looked up and saw Stephanie Newton's 1975, and I wrote 1975 and worked off that. And I'm not saying Stephanie is in her 6th life either. Oh my God, what a great start. So let me start again. With Natalie, you're in your first life, which means that you have never been here before. You cannot have had a previous life if you're in your first life. You're a new soul, and new souls are often what I call the sweet, naive ones. And it's because of the fact of you being naive that you will be more attuned to things going on around you. You will still have that sensitivity side to you as well. What I pick up here with those in their first life is they're often easy to fall in love. They are a little immature when it comes to spending. They might go overboard. I mean, any person can do that, but those in their first life are usually the ones that are more innocent to this world. They still have a lot of learning ahead of them to do, so they're going to be more succumb to people who try to take advantage of them. And usually that may be older souls who are more clued on, and they think, you know, they're a pushover, I can take advantage of that. So if you have experienced that and you're wondering, why does this happen to me? Now you know, because you're a new soul. Let me have a look. This year still is one of going ahead with things. So regardless, looking at this path for this year, you still have that time of getting prepared for applications and so on. You've got to also watch your health too there, Natalie, because you've got the sign appearing as an overriding number, which does connect to hospitals, connections with hospitals, connections with you know, doctors and medical field in some way. So it is a time to take rest or watch one's health, so be aware of that. What I'm also seeing here is confusion, and that there seems to be a battle going on, that I actually see this as an extension of your surroundings. Now this is for the whole of 2017, so much of this will have not come into effect as yet, but it's still within this 12-month period, and it will last probably from about it would have come into effect, I'm seeing, about November 3rd last year to, I would say, November 15 this year. So bear that in mind. Okay, now I'm going to concentrate on your cards, and your your controller would be Mars, not Mercury. Interesting. So I really mucked that one up. first cab off the rank. Not good, but hopefully I will not have that same issue again. It's a very easy thing to look at, you know, one number and then see the one just above it pop up, and that's it. Your lucky stone is jasper. Okay, that's interesting. I just had some music playing out of the blue and I don't have any music on. All right, so your lucky numbers, write these down: 1, 8, 17, 26 and 29. And what I actually see here, be careful of fevers as well. And I don't know whether you've had any like palpitations, but as I'm doing this tuning in with you, I'm getting this funny fluttering feeling in my chest. And usually if I get it during a reading, I'm usually picking up on little symptoms around the person, so just be aware of that. People who are born under the planet Mars, I actually find they do have great strength. They are individuals as well, but they sometimes appear cold to people around them. With you compare the planet, it usually does give that kind of coldness to it. They are ambitious, but they look at high positions. It's like working towards a high position. I do still get travel, which is really important with you, but I'm also getting that headstrong, outspoken, you know, restless, which is still what Spirit were indicating regardless. So I'm going to focus now. I'll get there, and so will Christmas. So we'll be on here till Christmas, but I'll get there. All right. Now, Natalie, where'd you go? I've got, oh, okay. So where are Natalie Preston? Not my date of birth. What do you mean it's not your date of birth? I hope you're talking about the mistake one, because I've got the 13th of July 1988 for you. So can you just confirm that, please? I'm going to go back here. Wrong date of birth. What? Okay, now this is weird. Now you've got, huh? The 9th of the 3rd, 1988. Help me out here. How did that happen? Am I going mad? I'm certain that I saw the 13th of July, 1988. Let me go back here. What's going on here? How can this happen? Okay. I have no idea what's going on. You're going to have to help me out, dear. You're really going to have to help me out. Type in. No one type anything until Natalie has typed. I just had a mail around me say, hi, Nat. I don't know whether you're expecting anyone. So, Natalie, can you please type your date of birth? I had the 13th of July, 1988, and then you've got down here, where is it? Natalie. I've lost it. I've really lost it. Oh my God. All right, you know what? I'm going to go with This is, I'm just going to go into tarot. Bugger this. Forget the spirit path. Let's have a look at the tarot. So I'm going to focus on Natalie Preston. Natalie Preston. Spirit, tell me what is happening with Natalie Preston. They're talking about children, Natalie. I don't know whether you're questioning about children at the moment. Let me just make sure nothing is flipping around. Okay. Here we go. Natalie Preston. Let's have a look. Whew. Okay, well this is interesting because at the moment, Natalie, I get a feeling that in some way you are going through some type of regret. I don't know whether you're trying to soul search at the moment, looking for an answer to things in a spiritual way. Sometimes people want their... Oh, here we go again. Keep getting cut off. Sorry, Joyce. That's it. Sorry. I can't deal with this cutting out business, but I can't help it if it's cutting out. Don't hold it over me. Please don't hold it over me. I have no control over internet. I've removed the age limit thing because there was an age limit set up there, because I don't read for people under 18 at all. Okay. But don't forget, even if you cannot hear everything in real time, it will be saved and uploaded to YouTube later. I promise you. It will be saved to YouTube. You'll hear it all. There will be no cutting out or anything of that nature. Unfortunately, with real time, I've no control over it. Absolutely none. It is what it is. And the only thing I can say is probably, you know, try if you can to use your internet, not your phone internet or anything like that. Okay. Well, I'm still doing yours, Natalie, so don't worry, you've not missed anything yet. I do feel that you are wanting to do your own thing. I'm actually seeing there's been something to do with a chaotic situation around you, and I feel like you've said something, or there's been some type of disagreement with a male, and it seems to evolve around work and relationships here. I do see someone who is trying to save, trying to watch every penny. I just feel like things have gone belly up. There's big changes around you at present, and I'm also seeing something to do with their money invested in either home or real estate. This might be like trying to make payments or repayments on something, or keep up with payments. Okay. Oh, I've got a friend watching. Isn't that interesting? Okay. That's right. So you can play it back once I've finished. Okay. I have no control over internet. I hate internet. I really do. So I'm going to continue. Natalie Preston. Natalie Preston. Spirit, tell me what's happening with Natalie Preston, so I can move on. Spirit, tell me what's happening with Natalie Preston. Alright, first and foremost, Natalie, as I mentioned, I get that needing time out. You may be also needing to take rest. Health is really important at this time, and sometimes I get that feeling of it's like the person may be needing to take medication or trying to recover after something that has broken. Now sometimes this can be around broken relationships where the person needs that time to themselves. It's not working at all. Okay, let me check. because I've got my mobile phone here, and I'm going to have a look, because if it's working on my mobile phone, it should work on yours. Okay, where are we up to? Okay.
I just had a mail around me say hi, Nat.
Oh wow, we are behind.
I don't know whether you're expecting anyone.
Yeah, so it is working. It's just, you know, every now and then it keeps refreshing. But it is working, guys. It is. It's just delayed. It really is delayed. Which is a pain. When you think about live stream, you expect it to be live. At that minute, at that second, see the real live comments and so on. But remember, I'm actually using a program through my computer. I'm not using any mobile phone, because mobile phones tend to get really hot from what I've discovered. So that's why. All right. Well, as I said, it's going to be saved. So even if you're not seeing it, it's so frustrating, guys. I know. I really wish I could fix it, but I no control over the internet. And I am actually streaming at a bit rate of 1,253 kilobytes a second. So we've got 7 viewers, it's saying, which is weird. Sure, there's 7. Let's have a look. What does this say? Does it say anything on here? Nope, it doesn't say anything on there. Thank you, Stepharola. Okay, so remember, this is like time delayed type of thing for whatever reason. I've no idea. It's crazy, isn't it? And I'm on 60 out of 60, no, 61 out of 61 frames per second. What I might do, let me see if I can turn off this. Wonder if that makes any difference. Maybe it will speed up the internet a little. See how that goes. I'll turn those off and see if it makes a difference. Does it? So let me know once I remove those. I'll see that go off the screen. And then it may go okay. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to continue with this. So what I'm actually picking up on, Natalie Preston, is that you need to watch your health. You need to take rest. There's recovery over something. I'm actually feeling like there have been discoveries as well, discovering secrets. Sometimes when a person is going through a situation, they're unraveling things like that, you know, finding out this might be where there is that getting out with the girls, trying to get your mind off things. You do become your own worst enemy this year. Do not, under any circumstances, beat yourself up for someone else's problems. This is important for you. I actually see this male who seems to be, I don't know whether he works for himself or he just moves around a lot, going from one place to another, but I do see a bit of an ego type of personality, very fixated on money in some way. I'm getting what is important for him is finances, or security, and he might also live above his means a little. I get disagreements with this person, like a headbutting situation, and this may also be because of this person, other people begin to have some type of situation develop where they are not getting along or not seeing eye to eye. Now, around you at present, I do see what is considered as the partnership, the relationship. And when I see that, it's a situation of people who either are married or live in a relationship together under the same roof. But it is like a married couple. And here, I feel like there's a need to focus on things for what they really are. Something is not healthy is what this is telling me. Now, what I also see here is you're multi-skilled. You've got this ability to do anything you put your mind to. I do feel though that there is a chance for you to meet new people. You may also be finding yourself becoming like a new person. There are so many changes you're going through at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the path that is still having that residual effect from last year, because last year I am picking up some type of separation around you, things going off in different directions, and people, they seem to be trying to, it's like there's an opportunity for reconciliation, but I do get avoidance, I get delays, I get things being held up for some reason. Now, your environment is actually showing me a female in your environment. Now, sometimes what I've noticed is Spirit present me cards that represent certain energies around that person's living area. Now, if there is no female physically there, this may be connecting to a spiritual female. Because what I'm seeing is this person is an advisor. They're very much the go-to personality. She seems to have, I would say, as dark hair but a fair complexion. I do feel that they're very strong. They will have an opinion. They will speak their mind. But I do get security around this person, and it's like they offer advice. Now, this may also be someone in your environment who may be divorced, widowed, or separated, giving you some advice there on what to do or how to go about things. Now, your outcome is actually telling me that you will be walking away from something in about a week's time, and I feel it's a time to avoid overdoing things, because you're going to be putting so much on your shoulders that you won't be able to carry. Now we're going to service providers showing up on the screen. You won't be able to control all that. I do get the broken heart around this, and it doesn't look good, the path. I'm going to be honest with you, it doesn't look good. But I look at it this way: if you knew where you'd fall, you'd pull a pillow there. So this may be giving you an opportunity to start planning something. Start planning what you will do under the circumstances. What positive things you're going to do for yourself in the process of all this going on. Some things are beyond our control. We cannot stop everything, like the internet. But I actually see here that this is going to be really getting you to a point where you feel like you're emotionally drained. So just try to take it easy. If you've got an opportunity to get out and hang out with friends, do it. Just get your mind out of the, out of that negative phase, and try to focus on some positive things to change the element around you. So I hope that has helped. So what I'm going to do now is move on to somebody else. So let's have a look. I'm going to go in and where are we? I'm going to scroll down. Okay. Alright, where did those dates go? This is weird. Okay, so okay, now we've got some date of births. Okay, so can I do, let me see if anyone is before that. All right, I'll do yours, Joyce Rapper. 7th of the 1st, 1950. Please tell me that is correct. Okay, so let's have a look at Joyce Rapper. Joyce Rapper. I'm working out your spirit path. Okay, now obviously, Joyce, you weren't born to a very wealthy type of background. I feel that there were some issues going on. There was some either struggling, financial struggles. I pick up it was the school of hard knocks, if I'm to use that term correctly. I feel that with you may have had a lot of things going on where there was a lot of headbutting between parents or family and relations. There were definite big issues around the time of your birth. I also get the feeling that prior to your birth, I'm getting either by 1 year or 1 year and a half, there appears to be a connection with holy circumstances. Holy circumstances to me would be indicating a temple or a church. I feel that this is to do with a connection with someone who is now on the other side, and there was a celebration of their life. I actually feel you were a gift. I really do. I feel like you were a gift to the family in order to make them realize their strengths and weaknesses at the time. And with you though, one of your biggest challenges in this life will be to watch your spending, watch your temper, be careful of getting yourself into a rut, especially when it comes to being in control of something, feeling obligated. You're ruled by the sun, so that tells me that you have that influence that plays a very important part in people's lives, and people will find you to be different in some way. It's like you shine that light on problems that are going on, any type of issues that people have. It's like you've got the answer, but you're not always following your own advice either. I mean, many of us do that. Don't beat around the bush here, but I do feel that some people may feel that you dictate to them a little bit too much, and that might cause them to sort of want to resist or move away. So it's sort of like, if you're finding that experience, it may be important to try to ease off that a little. Your influences are very favorable overall, I feel, with other planet controllers. Anyone who is ruled by Mars, you have a very good connection with those. Anyone who is ruled by Venus, and even those who are ruled by let's have a look here. If we look at, I'm just trying to see which planets would be best connected with you. So it gives you an understanding that this will usually be where you feel more generous around certain personalities because of their controller, their planet controller. So Saturn would be very unfavorable, but overall Venus, Jupiter, Mercury, Mars and the Moon are all favorable. But you've got great connections with those that are with Mars and Venus. Very, very positive connections, and usually these will come through as partners or close siblings, for example. Now, what I'm going to do is have a look at the path you're on this year. This will determine where things will happen, what circumstances will happen as well. Now, this year, Joyce, you're going to find people coming in and out of your life. You're also going to be experiencing changes around you. Don't be surprised also if this is a year of loss. Many people who go through this particular path will find that they are attending or hearing of people that are passing on, if you want to put it that way. It's like, my goodness, I didn't even know they were sick. It's like out of the blue messages and so on. I feel though there's also going to be a lot of preparation this year around you, Joyce, because next year brings a very new path, a whole new slather. It's like wiping the slate clean, beginning new. There's new opportunity, new beginnings that occur next year. You might also find yourself replacing a few things around the home as well this year, because this is the year where a lot of electrical things will begin to play up for those that are in that path, and the path you're on is your 9th one. So this is that year that for example, we went through a 9 path, the whole world basically, last year, and look how many celebrities' deaths were reported. It's a year of endings, a year of final passages, and it's not saying your final passage is going to happen this year, but there's going to be a lot of connection. So just be aware of that, and don't look at it as a negative, because those ones that are, you know, going to the other side, they're the lucky ones, believe me. They're the ones that are, you know, they've got it made over there. We are still having our baby steps here to get our head around life. Okay, so let's have a look. Your influences external are also going to be challenging. I feel finances. Do not be rash with your decision making in investing in money, in anything. Be very careful when you're spending. Weigh up the pros and cons of things. If you do have to replace any electrical goods, your overriding numbers are telling you, don't just buy the first thing you see. Shop around, but don't just go on budget. Go on quality and what it has to offer, so you get the best out of it. The other thing I'm seeing here, it's like something brewing within the home. You've got a lot of I'm just trying to find the word. I know what word I'd like to use for this, because it is it's not a good thing, but you've got a lot of opposition, people who are just going to be really testing you, and they'll test you to see how far they will go. I'm getting, be careful of people who are lying to your face. Be careful of people who are borrowing money off you, because you won't see it back. It is not a year to be handing out the money. Last year you might have felt a little generous, but this year, no. Don't do it, because you've got too much against that isn't favorable. And by the way, next year you're going overseas, so I'll leave that with you. I'm going to do your cards now. I like to give a quality type of reading. I don't want to just rush it, but I feel it's important we focus now on Joyce Rapper. Joyce Rapper. Spirit, tell me about Joyce Rapper. Okay. Sometimes if you turn the internet off and turn it on, it helps refresh it. So those that are having problems on their phone, you might want to turn off the internet and then turn it back on and see how you go. So Joyce Rapper, Spirit, tell me about Joyce Rapper. She's born the 7th of January 1950. 7th of January 1950. Oh, they're talking about the money, the security, the home. Okay, let's see what you've got to say here, Spirit. Alright. Now, Joyce, what I'm actually picking up with you, there appears to be a discussion you'll be having with a male. This seems to be a male who is just very, you know, he wants to do everything straight away. There's no delay. A lot of pipe dreams that I sense around him, an anxiousness, a working from the mind rather than working with patience. I feel that there's discussing future plans and changes that are going on. What I'm also seeing here is the connection with people around you who may be getting themselves into trouble. I don't know whether this is like parking fines or speeding fines, that type of thing, but you know, be aware this is around in some form and you may be affected by it because it may be someone within your immediate circle. What I'm also seeing here is don't put those okay, I'm going back because I'm looking at these cards and I'm seeing you seem to be turning your back on something because of confusion, and I see this to be around feelings. Looking at the emotional side of things, I get trust issues. It's like someone around you that is just making things very difficult. Either they're not communicating enough with you or they're not being straight up with what they are doing, because I feel like you've got to watch everything. You seem to be picking up the dregs here. I also see a person who is holding on to everything that they have. I'm seeing a housewarming also. So there's something about the home coming up, and I'm also getting the connection here with, okay, I just had a female come through. Are you here for Joyce? Okay. They're asking you to please take care of yourself at the moment, Joyce. There appears to be either you're worrying yourself too much, or there's something that is it's like burdening you in some form. They're also talking about you not eating properly. Okay, thank you. Now I'm going to continue. Joyce Rapper, Joyce Rapper. Alright, Joyce, the first thing that is shown to me is a person who feels like they just cannot go on. I don't know whether this is what you're feeling at the moment. This is what's turning up. Sometimes this can indicate an end to something that has happened around this person and where their cycle is at the moment. So the cycle that you may be on at the present may be causing you to disruptly part ways with something in your life that has held you back. Sometimes we have situations that are completely beyond our understanding. When they happen, they are harsh, they are very damaging to a person's positive side, because of the fact that they might be thinking everything's going along great, and then bang, where did that come from? It's sort of like out of the blue. I feel that it entraps people to some degree, and this is what's showing up through the cards at the present. I am seeing a quarrel or some type of conflict. I don't know whether this is something you're worried about with a family member. or a couple of family members, but I just feel like tension is there, and it's important not to allow yourself to get into anything that's going to make you emotionally unstable, because with your life path you will be tested, and this will be a big year of testing for you. I also see a connection with the law around somebody. This may be, as I mentioned before, could be relating to tickets, speeding tickets, fines, that type of thing. Do not feel obligated to handle that responsibility that someone gets themselves into. You have to allow them to deal with things themselves. If they're big enough to get themselves in trouble, then they are big enough to look after their own responsibility of paying that fine. I also feel like at the moment, don't be surprised if you are a little kept in the dark of things with people around you. It's sometimes a good thing, because it means that there's less for you to worry about. And at the present, I don't feel that that is what you need to be doing anyway. You need to be taking care of yourself. I feel like your whole, okay, the whole cards that are turning up here do show me a feeling of feeling let down in some way. Oh my goodness, it has been a very tough time, and it's not going to be over and done with very quickly, but I hope that this is making sense to you. I'm seeing a new property around you, Joyce. There appears to be new investment. I'm getting that at the moment you want things to be slow enough to progress, to develop new opportunities of money, but you don't want it to be too slow. You want to be able to save, but you don't want it to be draining you in any way. What I do feel is there's going to be a new beginning, but if you are choosing to leave something, say for example you want to leave a particular role, or there is a change in a situation financially, don't allow yourself to get bogged down to the point where you're feeling regret over a decision. That's where I feel it's important to take your time. Don't rush decision making, because it's going to be, you know, it's going to be something on principle that you have to take your time with. It can't be rushed. So I get a feeling like you're going to be looking back at things. You will cut your losses. You will walk away from things. You might even find there's going to be that cold shoulder effect from a person around you, but do not let it overwhelm you. I feel like you can already see the writing on the wall for the way things are in your current circumstances. But if you're losing interest in something, or you're getting bored with things, maybe this is telling you, seek some other hobby, seek something to occupy your mind and time with, rather than allow yourself to become consumed in problems and worry over other people. So I hope that's helped you, Joyce. Now I'm going to move on. Let's see who else we have here. Okay, so I'm going to go back. We've got the Vodafone, talking about the Vodafone, talking about silly Telstra. Okay, now let me just check and see that there's sound.
So Natalie, can you please type your... I also see a person who is holding on to everything that they have. I'm seeing a housewarming also.
Okay.
So there's something.
So there's good audio. Great. So that's working. Okay. So let's have a look at my next victim. All right, Sharon. Sharon McGregor Hernandez. Sharon. That's a mouthful, Sharon. Alright, so the 28th of the 12th, 1968. Okay. I get a Sue for some reason. Sue or Suzanne? Alright, so you two are also a new soul, Sharon, which means you've never been here before. This is your first time here, so you're allowed mistakes. Keep in mind also that with each lifetime that we have, whatever we don't learn in that lifetime, it rolls over to the next one. And this is where a lot of good people, you see people say, they're such a nice person, but they've got so many problems. And that's because whatever they didn't learn from their previous life is now in their next life, along with that life's problems. And depending on how many times they've been in this life, or having, say they've been in the world 8 times, say eighth time round, 7 of those times previous, they might not have learned anything about what they were here for. They might have had no interest in it and gone about ignorant, or not interested in growing spiritually. There's people who are, I don't believe in God, I don't believe in this, and I believe in that, and they don't seek that. So it does make their path tougher. I'm not saying that everyone who doesn't have a faith is going to have a hard time. There's plenty of people out there who have a fantastic life who don't have a faith, but I couldn't imagine not having a faith. That's just me. But just know that whatever you don't learn is going to be in your next life. You might think, oh well, I'll deal with it then, but trust me, when it comes that time, you're going to wish you had learned everything you could, and there's still time to learn. You've still got the opportunity before you. Now let's have a look at the path you're on this year. And that tapping noise you can hear is my calculator. Okay, so the path you're on is giving you opportunity to hear people say to you, do you need some help? Do you need some money? Do you need to have a break from things? This year, you may be finding yourself in that situation of changing, and the change may be to do with work. I also feel it's going to be a tense time, so I'm not surprised to see you on the stream wanting to have a bit of a read, because the transition that you're going through at the moment is also showing me that in some way there, Sharon, there's regret, and you might be feeling that you wish you could do things differently. You could wish you could take something back. Okay, is anyone there? Okay, this is what Stavrula is saying, so I hope that there are people there. How many viewers have we got? We've got 10. Pretty incredible low numbers when you consider how many people are on the page. But I'm going to go in to the reading. You might also have an opportunity this year, believe it or not, Sharon, to get away from a while, have a chance to go somewhere. Possibly it could be a break from things, as in, just that opportunity making itself apparent. It may also be a year where you are considering leaving a particular role, as I mentioned, changing direction. There's going to be a lot of focus on, is it worth pursuing? This may be the question in not so many words that will plague you throughout 2017. But you'll be glad once this year's over, trust me. One good thing is your overriding number will keep you afloat, which means that you won't completely go under financially, because it's going to be a bit of a tough time in the finances. Now I'm going to focus here on Sharon, the 28th of December 1968. Spirit, tell me what is happening with Sharon on the 28th of December 1968. Okay, now I actually feel that things will begin to ease around you. I do feel like there's been some change around the finances. This might be because of having a bit of a constant battle going on. I do feel like there's a transition. Sometimes this comes up when a person is either made redundant or they leave a job, and it's like, you know, I wish I'd done things differently. I am seeing there to be movement around you. I'm seeing discussing also something to do with family. It's definitely a discussion that's coming up. I am also seeing new love. So this can be rekindling a relationship or having something that is celebrated in some way there. What I see is a male, and it's like new beginnings. So new opportunities are presenting themselves regardless. I am going to have a look now. And that was just a quick glimpse. Naturally, I can't do big full readings. So let's have a look. Sharon, the 28th of December 1968. Okay. Okay, so I do feel like your mind is, it's like chopping and changing. You're going to do one thing and then, oh, okay, now I'm being told be careful of a young female who is spreading gossip. So I don't know whether this is making any sense to you, Sharon, but I've got to tell you, this is what's coming through. Okay. I feel like you're going to be sitting down talking about the future plans. There's discussion there, and there's reasoning as well within family. So I do feel like there's family connections. Person seems to be, it's like they've got your back. You might not even know they're standing up for you, even though you cannot see it going on. But there is someone defending your honor in some way. I am feeling like there's a lot of rushed things. It's time to slow down, and I am feeling that there's going to be a opportunity for you to, it's like, find out a new ability that you've got. It could be that you're given a new opportunity or a new way of making extra money on the side here. Now I am seeing, okay, this is interesting because I'm actually picking up the signature. I'm seeing forms being signed, making a commitment, making it happen. So I hope that is making sense to you at the moment. I do see a teamwork environment around you as well. Sitting down, talking with someone who is going to help set plans in motion. Now, you may be also waiting to hear on news about money. Something connecting with the finances is definitely turning up, but I feel like there's a lot of celebration that is being offered in your environment. Now, another thing I'm seeing is travel, but it's more across land rather than across water. There may be a want to go somewhere or to visit family or people that you know, but there may be also a resistance there. I'm seeing family support becoming stronger around you, because it does indicate that what's going to be happening is some type of division, and this division may cause people to go at war with one another, not to the point where there's injuries or anything like that, but it's more like, I don't agree with what you're doing, but it may not be that subtle. I feel though that you will have your wish, but don't be too cocky, is the message that comes through, because it could fall out from the bottom, so to speak. Things might go completely upside down after you get what you want, and it could turn nasty, especially if you appear smug. But I am actually feeling like there's a bit of a challenge ahead. Just play your cards right is what I need to tell you at this time. Don't allow yourself to get, you know, inundated with people who are jealous around you or trying to stir up trouble. But I do get this young female for some reason, and I don't know who she is. She might be playing people against one another. So I'll leave that with you. Okay, now let's have a look. Your lucky numbers. And you are ruled by Mars. So your lucky day is Tuesday. Jasper is your stone. January and August are your lucky months. And the lucky numbers are 1, 8, 17, 26 and 29. So I hope that helps. Okay, now let's have a look at the next person. I don't need Karen Seb, I can tell you. I don't know what that means. Okay. No. I don't know what this 27th means. What's 27th? Okay, well you definitely, if you wrote the 28th there, Sharon, because I actually had it right in front of me on the screen, and it had the 28th of the 12th, 1968. So, okay. Alright, so let's have a look. Make sure that you haven't had a reading in the last 3 months by me or anybody. If you have, do not enter. Otherwise it won't make any sense to you whatsoever. Okay. Now I'm just going to have a look back at those comments. I can't see them all on this screen here. I'm going to go to my mobile, because I can go back through them. Why would you write the wrong date, Sharon? I'm not with Telstra, I'm actually with Optus. Okay. I'm just going to have a look. Why would you write the wrong date? I mean, seriously, how could you get your birth date wrong? Oh well, you wrote the 28th. That's what I worked off on your spirit path, but I worked off your name on the actual tarot reading. So the tarot reading is regardless. I'm not going to do it again. No, I'm not going to do it again. Okay, so I'm going to go on with Robin Jackson. I'm using my phone, so I'm not sort of like using up the internet too much on this particular thing. Robin Jackson, the 21st of November 1965. Alrighty, so let's have a look at Robin Jackson, 21st of the 11th of 1965. Okay, so you're an old soul, Robin. You're actually in your 8th life, which means that your controller is Mars. And with you. Again, the same lucky numbers that I just read out, 1, 8, 17, 26 and 29 will be your lucky numbers. And the lucky months are January and August. I get pinks around you. These are your lucky colors, pinks. Okay. So, I'm seeing the letter H. Where's that H come from? I'm seeing H. I'm going to move on. Okay. Now, so you're actually in your 8th life. So you're an old soul. And I actually feel that with you, throughout your life, you might find yourself feeling quite lost and sometimes alone. Challenges will be very great, and you may find yourself becoming what we call the carer, the caring soul, the one that is there. The people that they meet often come into their life for a reason. It could be that there's a part of healing that you project around them. You may find that there are cases where you experience great losses as well, and not just as a child. I'm getting adults as well. I'm getting the connection with adults. Now the other thing that I actually pick up around you, oh wow, I'm getting images. He's just run in. What's your name, Doug? What is your name? Harry? He's laughing at me. Come and tell me your name. Don't be silly. I've only got a little time. I've got motorbikes around me now. I know whether you can hear them in the background. Sounds like Harry. And I saw a H. He's laughing at me. I've done something wrong, obviously. Okay. Alright, so let's have a look here. 21st of November. Let's see the path you're on this year, Robin. Okay. This is a great opportunity. Your year for this year is going to be a lot better than last year. Last year was absolutely horrid. The year before, I'm getting connections with Holy Land, and land by, as I'm referring to, churches and cemeteries. I feel like there's a strong connection around a lot of people that have crossed over with you, to be honest. You're not alone though. I have to tell you, I'm feeling like there's so much that is spiritual around you. I don't know whether you have been finding yourself lighting candles, putting incense, or being more in tune with spiritual things. I'm going to move this up so I can see if you write anything, because I'm interested to hear. Okay. 21st of the 11th, 1965. Are you kidding me? You wrote 1968. Oh, hang on. No, you did write 65. Phew. Oh, it's right. I got it right. It's right. It is. Okay, so the 21st of November, 1965. Yay. You are right. And that's what I've got written down. So I'm working with the correct numbers. Thank you, God. Okay, so Robin, I definitely pick up a lot of spiritual energy around you, and I'm getting mischievous male, and this may be where I sense, you know, as your son, he seems to be, okay, he's talking about, what are you saying? He's mumbling at me. He's, okay, this is interesting. I don't know whether there's any sounds coming across the mic apart from my voice, but he's actually got like what looks like a I don't know what the name of the ball is, but he's got a ball that he's bouncing on his foot, whether it be a soccer ball or some type of ball. He's got this ball that he's just mucking around with. I don't know whether it's something that's been given to him. He's also talking about the bear as well. I don't know whether there's been a bear. And this is what he's telling me. So this is not cold reading by any means for anyone who's saying she's cold reading. And you know what? In a way, cold reading, when I do readings, I would say yes, but not the kind of cold reading most people think of. Cold reading is, I know nothing about the person. I don't want to know. He's showing me that he was present. He's talking about the beach. He's talking about nighttime when the sun went down. And he's saying to me, pink. What's pink? A top? No. Release the pink. I'm not hearing the rest of it. He's talking about pink and he's laughing, but he likes it. I have to move on. I have to move on. Now, Robin, in your environment, I am picking up tension. I am getting this feeling of tension. You are trying to sort of make things still, it's like a residual from last year. I get struggle to some degree. I don't know whether there's a struggle with money or whatever the case is, but I do feel like there's a bit of a struggle with you. I am also picking up a discussion about the location. So I don't know whether you're thinking or talking about moving, but whatever you just did, Karen, it lost sound in delay audio. Okay, well, there is a delay anyway, so I don't know whether I think my life must be that boring. She has nothing to say to me. I'm not constantly with my eyes on the screen, Sharon. And I'm just randomly picking ones. I'm not going in order, obviously, because of when everyone types, the things go all over the place and it's not letting me go right back to some of those things. So please don't take it personal. If I don't get to you, it's not in my intention that I'm just deliberately missing out on people. I'm trying to be random with my selections, but I'm just, whatever comes up and I see it, then I will go with that. But please don't take it personal. I really need you to know that I'm not deliberately ignoring anybody. I've got spirit here talking to me. I'm trying to concentrate on what's coming through, and I'm trying to, every now and then look at the screen. Now, Harley. Oh, that's why he's laughing at me. It sounded like Harry. Is it Harley? Yeah, go away and laugh. Thank you. Oh, so that's okay. So he says, well, why do you think I was making bubbles with my mouth like a motorbike sound? All right. Okay, so going on, I feel like there is discussion about the location. Don't be surprised, Robin, if you do consider, and I'm not saying you're going to do it yet, but I get this feeling of, it's sort of like discussion. It may just be talk at the moment about whether you should stay where you are or go elsewhere, but I feel like you're comfortable in some way, but there may be other things that the angels are trying to maneuver you out of that area to give yourself a new start. So sometimes the angels, when they try to move us off one path onto another, it does seem a little harsh, but it's necessary for our progress. So allow things to happen. Allow things to happen naturally, but don't get yourself stressed. That's what I need to tell you. Now, let's have a look at what's coming up for you, Robin. Okay, Robin Jackson. What is happening with Robin Jackson? What is happening with Robin Jackson? Spirit, if you can also work through this, please tell me. Okay, so Robin, I am actually feeling there's like some type of separation there. I am also feeling it's like you've had, I'm getting told you had no choice. Now, whether this has already happened or it's still in the effect, I feel like you felt stuck, you couldn't see a way forward, and this being stuck may have been as a result of feeling that if you were to get out of a certain situation, even if it be with another person, that you wouldn't be able to survive on your own, or you wouldn't be able to do what is necessary for you because you are too tied to this situation. I'm going to concentrate again. Spirit, speak to me and connect with Robin Jackson. Reveal what is happening with her and what message you have to pass on. Okay. Now, Robin, what's showing is a divorced, widowed, or separated woman. I don't know whether you are one or all of these. I feel you wear your heart on your sleeve, but something has changed within you, and I feel like others have noticed this change. What I sense here is I'm getting the sign of, or the symbol of death, okay, which obviously has been a great impact in your life in some way. People around you, people close to you, you might even be asking, and I'm hearing them say, she has asked, why me? Why am I the one that has been chosen to experience this type of loss? Why? What have I done? I just get that really strong, empty, numb feeling is the only way I can describe that. What I see crossing your path, Robin, there is a team of people that I feel are going to be helping you through things. I don't know whether these are like counselors or people who are like there in some form as offering assistance or offering a service, but I get that feeling of connecting with what appears to be like a team. I also get a lot of busyness around it, so I don't know whether this is also something that's about to cross your path, being with a team element of working among other people, but I feel like you're getting out of your own safety zone. It's sort of like getting out of a, no, not safety zone, comfort zone is the word I'm looking for, stepping away from that. I am seeing also some celebrating that is coming finally into your life, and this celebrating may be also to do with someone very, very close to you. I am seeing there's marriage, a focus on marriage. Okay, Now, Robin, I'm being told when you got married, you broke down. I don't know if you understand this, but I have to pass this message on. This is exactly word for word what they're saying. When you broke down, I was with you. Did you feel me with you? I was behind you when you sat down on, and they're talking about a rock. Something about a rock, sitting down on the rock, whether you got emotional or you were, I don't know what was being said, but they are indicating they were with you. So I'm assuming marriage took place following your son's departure. This is what I'm being shared here, so I have to share this with you. Now I have a hero outside doing wheelies. Don't you just love them? Emotionally, you are in a tug of war. I get the emotions pulled in 20 different directions, like a team of horses going one way and another team of horses going another. So emotionally, this is where you're at. I feel that you feel like you've got to keep busy, or there is that demand being put upon you from other people, and it's like they don't realize to some degree of what you've been going through. But I feel like you want to keep yourself busy, if I'm to use that correctly. Your environment does show me a male who has a very strong presence around you. I'm seeing this person to have olive skin, dark hair and dark eyes. Very businesslike. I'm getting a person who wants to be outdoors, wants to sort of keep themselves busy. There's something about being strong in the environment, so I'll leave that with you. Okay, I hear you. I'll tell her. They're talking about you don't feel like you've got any control over depression, and they want you to know that they're with you to help you get through this stage in your life, and everything's going to be okay. If you do have that breakdown, I'm trying to be as sensitive as I possibly can on a live stream. If you do have that moment where you feel like things are beyond your control, know that the sun will bring its rainbow through. Things are going to get better. So I'm going to move on. I hope this has helped you in some way. Thank you, Harley, for being present and telling me some of these things. I don't know whether she is still on or not. There's no reply. Okay. Now I'm going to go on to the next person. So what I'll do about 3 more, and then I will call it a night because we're already going over time. And if I go too far, then it's going to sort of end up making problems with the internet. So let me go back a bit. All right, now Tracy, I heard you're whinging. Only joking. All right, Tracy, hopefully this is the correct birth date, the 26th of October 1962. All right, so let's have a look at Tracy. 26th of October 1962. Okay, so you're an old soul, Tracy. Throughout your life, you're going to find people coming in and out of your life. I get it. Okay. I get a connection with a female coming through. I didn't expect this to happen tonight. I felt a lot of spirit energy around me, but okay. Tracy, just so I know that this person is for you, do you mind acknowledging whether there has been a female passover who is like a mother to you? So if you could please reply, I would greatly appreciate that. I'm going to carry on though, because I'm getting a very maternal kind of, you know, person around me. But I must tell you, I'm also smelling smoke. So I don't know whether they smell of smoke, whether they were a smoker or they've come through with someone who was a heavy smoker. I don't smoke personally, so I'm really sensitive to that smell. Okay, now you are an old soul, as I mentioned, so throughout your life you're going to experience people in and out of your life. It's going to be a plethora of different personalities. They are there for a short time and then they have to move on, and your controller in life is Jupiter, not the casino. But with you, I feel like you have to be very careful about insomnia, and watch the lungs. So if you are a smoker, probably better to throw the packets away and detox, because I am actually picking up the, you know, that connection with needing to be very careful around the lungs itself. Okay, let me have a look here. Your lucky stone is the emerald or topaz, and there's no real lucky day for you. I actually feel that the good thing with you is all the days can be favorable, but your luckiest month will be September, and I'm actually picking up 3 numbers for you. Anyone who is considered controlled by Jupiter, their lucky numbers will be 9, 18 and 27. Anything to do with like mauves, purples, yellows, very positive colors for you. They do give you also protection, so it may be great to invest in a amethyst, some type of lapis lazuli, which is also a purpley crystal, as opposed to also the topaz and emerald. Be careful also of skin problems like eczema. I do find that sometimes those that have Jupiter as their controller tend to either get eczema. They also, you know, at times have like an asthma problem with the lungs, and also gout. So I'll leave that with you. Be careful of your impulsiveness as well, which is another thing that comes through. Now let's have a look at the path you're on this year. Okay, so this is a year of new beginnings. So you've got opportunities around you galore. Now look at that. I can't even see any more writing from her on there. Hopefully she's just listening and absorbing the information coming through. There's definitely going to be a situation where you're going to be discussing things with another person, and this might center around a work situation and a change that connects with changing location. I don't know who the nurse is, but I'm actually seeing what looks like a nurse's outfit, or uniform I should say is the correct term, but I am getting someone connecting with nursing. I don't know whether this makes any sense to you or not, but I'll just leave it with you. That's okay, Robin. Okay. That's me, whinge and win. Well, I'm glad you can connect with that, Tracy. All right, now Tracy, I also get you looking at a computer and looking at different types of occupation. So I don't know whether you are considering changing what you do or looking at a step up because I feel like there may be also connections with shift work around you for some reason. This is something I'm just picking up at the present, outside of your path number. Now what I'm going to do is clear the cards because I don't want any previous influences coming through. I'm so happy for you, Robin. I had this one around me earlier today, and he's been here since 9 o'clock this morning. So that just shows you how determined. Okay. Now let's concentrate. Tracy Cowling. Tracy Cowling. What does Spirit have to say about Tracy Cowling? Oh, so she was a big smoker. Well, she still smokes. Okay. Tracy Cowling. What is happening? All right, let's see what spirits say, Tracy. All right. Well, this is interesting, Tracy, because they're actually saying that there's going to be a change around the health with you. They're also talking about there appears to be the connection with a new start, new opportunity around work, but someone's going to be not so pleased with a result. Now this may be you or someone close to you, but don't get yourself into any battle over disagreements. Let's focus again. Spirit, tell me what's happening with Tracy Cowling. What do you need to tell her? All right. Now, Spirit are talking about delays, having to look at things very differently now, Tracy. And what's interesting, sometimes when I do readings, and this comes up, the person goes in with an open mind, but they're also very skeptical. And it's when things begin to sort of like, oh my goodness, that seems to relate to exactly what's going on in my life at the moment. They tend to be a little bit more over the fence, if you know what I mean. They begin to get off that fence and realize that there is something going on around them that's coming through, and it's going to reveal itself big time. I feel as though there are delays. I'm getting a connection also with a male. I'm getting the connection with father figure, a male who is very dogmatic. He's got an opinion. I feel like he's definitely got an opinion. There's questioning. There's something to do with the male that is being presented to me, so I have to pass this on to you. The male can also be that this being a parent doesn't necessarily have to be someone who is your parent, but someone who may be a parent to children. I see this situation getting to a point where the emotions seem to be taking a turn. Changes are happening there that are shifting the feelings that were there. There is some type of wanting to move forward and let go. I want to move forward with my life. I don't want to hold on to this any longer. There is something to do with needing to let go. I feel like the attitude or the emotions have changed and they're in the transition period. Now with you, I'm also seeing things to be in dribs and drabs around the finances. No, I'm not writing. My grandmother was a heavy smoker. No, I'm not writing. I don't understand that. Okay. I feel that you are by nature a strong person, but you tend to let people get to a point where they walk over you one too many times. I am seeing a professional male who may be connected to authority. He's giving you a helping hand. This may be already in the picture, but they seem to be either offering their help or becoming more of an assistant to you in some way to your circumstances, but there is definitely transition, there's change. I'm also seeing the representer that shows me a person who is feeling stuck in their situation. They cannot see their way out of it, so they're putting up with things just for argument's sake. It's easier to stay put than to make that break, is what the message is. And yet they know they shouldn't. They just allow this situation to keep manifesting around itself. Now, what shows up is that with you, there is that separation in some way. To me, the separation means that you are dividing yourself from people close to you, at the same time juggling everything at once, trying to multitask things to get things done. You seem to be adamant that no one else is going to do a better job than you. So you have to take control of things, even if it's like bill payments or other things going on. It's like, well, what's the point in even asking them? I might as well do it. And if it's even things around the home, you've resorted to that point of, I'm going to just deal with it myself. I'm not going to worry about asking them. Your environment does show me, though, a feeling and sense of loneliness, a time of feeling like you're on your own through whatever is going on. I get that new type of soul searching going in your environment where things are presenting themselves in mysterious ways. Sometimes I see this to be Spirit's way of trying to get your attention. You might hear knocking sounds. You might feel like someone's, getting off your bed in the middle of the night, like the bed gives it like a tiny shake at the end, like someone's got up or something has jumped off the bed, and yet there is nothing there. These are little signs, little hints of, I'm around. Don't feel you're alone. And sometimes when a person is going through a lot of transition, which this year is bringing new opportunities, new beginnings that are completely like a brand new slate, you will find things become disruptive. There is a lot of worry around you, but you want to release that. I actually see that you want to release that, and there will be things easing. You might even be surprised to find that there's going to be changes also around you and your health in particular. I feel that for healing purposes, you might need to get away for a little while. This may be either going to some type of resort or having a little bit of a break, a little holiday, if you want to put it that way. So that is on its cards, and things are changing. Once again, any invitations to arguments, don't let it happen. Just ignore the ones that are baiting for an argument, because unless you give in, they will not be able to argue with you. Okay, so let's go on. Who have we got next? I'll go down and try to keep them in order as much as I can. Okay, Tennille Rogers. Tennille, that's an interesting name. The 6th of July 1967. Okay. Now, I don't know whether you've been feeling a little lightheaded, Tennille, because as I'm tuning into your name and date of birth, I get this feeling of like a lightheadedness, like when people are underwater and you get that kind of funny feeling around your head. This is usually a sign of angels coming close. So if you've been experienced that, know that you've got the angels there, trying to get your attention in some way. I'm going to actually have a look here, because when I get that, I have to pass on to the person what is coming through from angels. So I'm going to ask if there are any angelic messages that need to be passed on to Tennille at this time. Okay. Now, if you've also, upon wakening or just about to go off to sleep, heard what you feel is your name, then it's very possible that you have spirit around you trying to get your attention. Now, just bear with me for one moment. I've got my daughter here asking me something. Okay, it won't be one moment. I've got a mothering duty to do at the second, so I'm just going to mute this. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to have a look at your date of birth here, Tennille, to find out what path you were born under in your spirit path. Alright, so you're also an old soul. And as mentioned, being an old soul, you're actually ruled by Jupiter. I do feel that with you, you do have a lot of intuition. You're, in particular, be very careful of drinking too much too, because I do get a connection with liver around you for some reason. I don't know whether you enjoy quite a bit of alcohol, but just be careful. If you might need to do like a liver detox or something like that. The other thing that I'm actually seeing here is you seem to be very impulsive. I get that feeling of, you know, once you've got a bee in your bonnet, that's it. You have to do whatever. It doesn't matter what time of day or night it is. It cannot wait. And I get that impulsiveness around you for some reason. Once again, lucky numbers are 9, 18 and 27. September's your lucky month, so I'll leave that with you. I'm going to do your cards. Have a quick look at those. Tennille Rogers. So let's ask Spirit, what is happening with Tennille Rogers, born the 6th of July 1967. Tennille Rogers. Tennille Rogers. Okay, I've got a male yelling out, I'm here. So Tennille, I don't know who this one is. I don't know whether it is connected with you or that it's just someone turning up singing out, I'm here. But he's got a bit of a twang to his voice. Tennille Rogers. All right, let's have a look at what is coming through your cards, Tennille. You're very focused on the now. And what I am seeing here is reconciliation. If there's been any type of misunderstanding, know that both people can be wrong. You know, it's very easy for people to misunderstand things. I do feel like there is a opportunity of reconciliation. I'm also getting the connection here with a need to let go of whatever was happening in the past. You've got to move forward now. I'm seeing a lot of hard work to pay things out around you as well. And what I'm also seeing is there's a connection with people. They seem to be coming together over something that has to be acknowledged. I don't know the understanding of that. I can't give you any more than that information, but I'm seeing people coming together. They all seem to be in agreement. Discussion about the home is also something I'm picking up at the moment, and I feel like there's a change there's a change to the order of things. So I don't know whether you're doing things back to front, or there's been some type of slight change to what's happening. Okay, even with you, I'm getting a sign of the hospital symbol. I don't know why. I don't know whether you have a connection with hospitals or what the story is, but I'll leave it with you. So Tennille Rogers, Tennille, what is happening with Tennille Rogers? The 6th of July 1967. Okay, let's have a look here. Okay, now Tennille, I feel like there's going to be a territorial battle where it's going to be pretty hard to relax. I'm seeing young people from a distance coming to stay for a short time, things being disruptive around you. I feel like there's journeys across land, more importantly, like distant places, but it seems to be across land. I'm not feeling like it's a great big, you know, step outside the country or anything. I am seeing you wanting to do your own thing. You're very passionate and determined to follow your goals and your dreams. And I feel like this is something that, looking at your path at the moment, when I see your... Oh, I didn't even have a look at what's happening this year. Let me have a quick look. I'm getting ahead of myself. So 6 and 2017. Okay, so it's the 5 path that you're on. So this might make you feel quite interesting enough. I mean, it's not a really good year financially, to be honest with you, but you might be very determined. You might be like trying to go past things that are happening in your life at the moment and saying, stuff it, I'm going to do my own thing. It will work out because I'm determined. That's where I feel like there's a lot of determination around you. You might not be listening to a lot of people's advice because you have that I will do it my way attitude. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel you've got to be careful. Don't get yourself into that, you know, getting into that rut as a result of outlay. I do see that there's also people around you who may be draining you. And when I say draining, I'm not talking about just financially. I'm also feeling emotionally. And it's like there's always that constant battle. If someone says the sky is green, they'll, I mean, if you say the sky is blue, they'll say it's green. If you say there's Santa Claus flying overhead, they'll say, no, it's not. It is hailstone. Everything will be opposite. It'll be just to tick you off. So expect that. What I see is news and letters, phone calls coming your way. This is about to cross your path. I'm actually seeing by about I would say early March to early June. I see a lot of hard work around you. Don't be surprised if you're also asked to work back. I'm also seeing you paying out things in the past there. It's like trying to sort of organize the budget. I feel as though you're trying to lead a temperate, moderate lifestyle. You may have also had like a bit of a break there where you've, you know, needed time off or just had that, you know, time out. This might even be around you at the moment where you're just putting your feet up, trying to have that, you know, time of leisure to just relax before going back into the mill of things. What I do see here also is you seem to be trying to understand your path, what you're here for, understand your goals and what you need to learn through life. So this is really important at the moment. The person that I see with you is a soul searcher, but something troubles you from your environment. I do feel like whatever is going on in your environment is causing you problems with sleep patterns. I get nightmares, I get restless sleep. I feel like you go off into a deep sleep and then bang, something wakes you up and it's really hard to get back. I'm also getting like the pressure around the top of my temple. So to me that would be indicative of either migraines or, you know, stress, worry, that type of symbol. I'm also getting the image here of seeking advice from someone about where to go from here. And this might be that there is definitely something that comes through by way, as I mentioned, by letter or telephone call, perhaps even text these days. It is a authoritative person. I also get the protection of police around you, so I don't know what that's for at the present. It's just showing me the police uniform. What I'm also picking up on you are 2 months of idleness where there is not going to be any movement. It's like 2 months complete suspension. I'm also feeling like I've got a fear of losing for some reason what I have, but I don't feel things are going to change too soon. I get the indication of having the ability to control and to keep things in my path that you want. So I actually feel you've got good positive energy around you there. Now I'm going to move on. So I hope that's helped you, Tennille, and given you a little bit of insight for... Okay, good, it's working, says Karen Nanny Fox. All right, let's go on to the next one. Veronica, I'll do yours now. Veronica, 19th of May 1970. Okay, 19th of May 1970. All right. Okay, so I get always the battle with the heart. Emotionally tied. I feel as though you're in your fifth life, and connecting with that is the element of the sun. So again, the sun being the controller would mean that don't feel that you've got to be an idealistic type of person. You might need or feel like you need to fit a certain pattern for people around you, because what I find also is that many people who have the controller as the sun are always seeking acknowledgement, because it's important to them to feel like whatever they're doing is going to be appreciated by others. And just that little bit of acknowledgement, I mean, let's face it, everyone wants acknowledgement, but more so the people who are controlled by the sun, because they are a life force of their own. They are ones that do help others through their darkest times. Technically with them, they are individuals. They tend to become more emotional than other star signs and other controllers out there, the planets. I also get that feeling of being influenced, feeling like there's an important aspect of their life that they have to play out. Nothing comes like in halves with those ruled by the sun. I can say that much. Okay, so let's have a look, Veronica, at the path you're on this year. Okay, so this year you might actually be feeling like you want to avoid a few people. There's nothing wrong with that, especially if they are very argumentative and you just cannot handle it. Don't be surprised if you feel like giving them the cold shoulder kind of effect, because this is very typical of the path. Don't also get yourself into a situation where you're overspending or feeling like you have to be, putting yourself into a financial debt, because I get there's money in dribs and drabs around you. I'm also getting some type of disagreement pattern forming around someone close, and this could be a sibling, a brother or sister, or someone who is just very connected in the family. It's like there's going to be that tiny little battle that comes and goes with them. Let's have a look if there's been any replies. Thank you, Sharra. Thank you very much. Okay, so Okay, so I am actually seeing around your overriding numbers here, you're going to have an opportunity of being a part of someone's big event. It could also be a part of your own life changing, because this year is definitely setting and mapping out different occasions, celebrations, new applications. The green light is on, which means it gives you the opportunity of moving ahead. But don't be how can I put it, don't feel as though you have to impress others. The important thing is you've got to impress yourself and do things that are going to make you happy, but do them honorably. So I'll leave that bit with you. I'm going to have a look now at your cards. And I hope everyone's being able to hear me okay, because I'm not seeing anything going up. But I hope that it's helping. I really do. Alright, so where are we? Veronica. I just looked at there. Where are we? Veronica. I went off to see if there were any mentions. Okay, so Veronica Dracopoulos. Veronica. What is happening with Veronica? Spirit, come through. Veronica. A little quiet here for you, Veronica. Doesn't mean that there's no one for you. They may be with you. Okay, first and foremost, I feel like there is a change that's happening around team. This may be work environment here, because I'm seeing you discussing future plans. I'm also seeing what appears to be news that's coming, and this seems to connect with a relationship. Person who is either celebrating or about to discuss plans of marriage. I feel like there's a lot of focus on marriage in some way. I am also getting that healing process. Be careful of getting run down. To me, I'm actually getting this sign of a lot of tissues, so I don't know whether you've been a bit sniffly, but watch that you don't get the cold. Just take it easy. And I mean, it's really weird weather, but I'll leave that with you. So let's have a look. Veronica, what is happening with Veronica? Okay, interesting. The first card up is showing me the heartache. Sometimes this can be the person being harder on themselves than anyone else. If you're beating yourself up in some way, Veronica, don't, because I feel like this is a part of your learning process. Sometimes we experience things to make us stronger people. The situation at hand at the moment, the path you're on, is telling me that there is a lot of emotional stamina. It's like you're going to be feeling those heartstrings being pulled in some way. I am seeing discussion about work around you. There's definitely going to be some type of change or reshuffling that I feel is happening, and don't be surprised if there may be a new location developed around that as well. I am seeing a male who is very important. He seems to be connected with the work or the team. I'm also seeing that feeling that comes through when I see the Devil card. Now I'm going to explain this. I see two people who feel as though they're being controlled by others, and they cannot do things that they want to do. And it may also be that with them, they feel like they're stuck. They are unable to to be happy completely, because their focus is too much on what they're supposed to be doing, what their obligation is, and it's like, this is not what I wanted, this is not how I perceive things to be. But there is some type of feeling of being stuck there. Now, it doesn't mean it's necessarily a relationship, but it can be a situation where the person just cannot see their way out of it, and they're putting up with things and they're frustrated, but they just have to, it's like going through the motions. They just have to wait it out. Now, around you at the moment, they are showing me signs that something has ended around you. This may be why I'm getting the feeling of heartache or beating oneself up. Emotional upheavals are really paramount from what I'm actually sensing here. If you feel as though you cannot see any way up anymore, it's like feeling down, completely lost, and things going belly up, then you will understand what I'm picking up here. I do feel though that you will have your wishes fulfilled. Now, sometimes circumstances that we have, that we are ripped out of in some way, whether it be someone else's doing or our own, can really shake things up and put us on a much better path than what we had initially. Sometimes people look at this as, well, you know, in some way I wanted this to happen and now it's happened. I have to deal with it, but I don't know how to deal with it. There is something that has transitioned. That is a favorite word. Yes, I hear someone saying, you always say that, Karen. So yes, you are transitioning, because when you go from one path into the next and there is change happening around you, that is transitioning. You cannot avoid it. Everyone transitions, but it's what you do during that process. You can either succumb to it and go into a total meltdown, or you can learn something through it. Your environment is showing me the blockage. You might be at the mercy of others here. I feel like there's too many demands that are being put upon you, and you may be also allowing those demands to be put upon you. The blockage shows me that person who, it's like having fog brain, or, you know, baby brain when a woman's pregnant, for example, and they just cannot do anything right. It's like, no, they feel clumsy, they feel disorientated, they feel like, you know, they cannot see their way forward. Everything is a challenge in some way. I get a lot of focus on security with you, Veronica. So I don't know whether there is that feeling of wanting change in location or the finances to happen. It's like wanting too much too quickly, and you're not meant to get it straight away. I am seeing a financial shake-up, so be careful there, because there's definitely going to be a change, and I'm seeing this to be either your decision or someone close to you making a decision to leave some particular industry that they are connected with. This might affect the finances in a great way. So where you're hoping for more money, it may be a bit of a tightening of the belt that's required over the coming weeks. So I'll leave that with you. Okay, now I'm going to move on. So a couple more and then I'm going to call it a night, everybody. So let's have a look here. All right, I'll just go with Teresa, 3rd of the 6th, 1982. All right, so let's have a look. 3rd of the 6th, 1982. All right. Okay, one of your biggest challenges in life, Teresa, will be relationships. Do not feel that you have to make everybody happy, because you're the kind of person that if someone says jump, you'll say how high. And it's because you have that feeling that you've got to redouble your efforts. You've got to do everything to pander to that person. And sometimes what I find is those that are in their second life do get to a point where they sort of give up on trying, because they have put and burnt so much energy out of themselves in relationships that it's like, why am I even bothering with this person? And because they're so much looking for that perfect knight in shining armor in their life, they do tend to just take on anybody. They don't be fussy. They're content. They sort of feel like it's not respectable if they have certain traits that they're looking for. For example, I feel like there is religion behind you, Teresa, and you need to reconnect with that. I need to tell you, I'm getting a message through from my guide to tell you that you are being asked from the other side to speak to God a little bit more. So I'll leave that with you. I'm not getting involved. So let's have a look here. Okay, so you've got a new beginning around you this year, Teresa. There's going to be new opportunities, of course. It's also going to give you a new direction. You might be planning, like from last year, I get that cleaning out the closet around you. A lot of change taking place, sorting through things. And now you're at that point where you've got the clean slate to work from. You've got an opportunity that is putting you on a new path, a brand new lifestyle. Sometimes people find it hard to deal with new lifestyles because it's like, I didn't plan it this way, but it's just happened this way, and it's going with the flow. So I'll leave that with you. I do feel like there's also around you a connection with signing things, making phone calls, connecting with people, chasing things up is very strong as well. I am also feeling like you are talking with people. It's like being in an office type of environment. There's a computer to one side and they are talking across a desk with you. I don't know whether this is about making some type of amendment, some type of, discussion about ideas being shared, but I feel it's like a meeting, but it's not with the big boardroom kind of thing. It's like just in a very close area of an office. I'll leave that with you. I'm also seeing someone linked with driving and cars. I don't know whether they pick cars up or something. I don't know what this is to do with, whether it's to do with you or someone around you I'm connecting with now, but I'm seeing what looks like a tow truck to some degree. So hopefully that's not you. Hopefully it's not a sign of things to come, but I'll leave that with you. Okay, now I'm going to concentrate. Spirit, please reveal what is happening with Teresa Colic. Teresa Colic. Okay, so they're showing me, Teresa, security. So this is a good time for you. Definitely one that has that new opportunity. I feel like you've got the opportunity of going places, and again, because it's a new slate to work from, you've got a steady path around you at the present, and I am seeing you coming into new security around finances as well. At the present, I am also seeing you trying to hold on to what you have. What's interesting is some people get to that, this is mine and that's yours. And what I also see is a possessiveness to some degree. If you are finding yourself, and I'll use this as an example, if you're finding yourself in a relationship and you are becoming a little possessive over that person, it may be that is making that person feel smothered to some degree. So just be aware of that. What I see crossing your path, there appears to be a female. Now this may be you. I don't know. This is just showing me the female who has to do things on her own. And if this is where that possessiveness might fall into, then this might be giving you a bit of a heads up as to where all this is going to take you. But I do feel like you can do whatever you put your mind to. You're very creative, and I get a lot of artistic ability with you as well. I am seeing you changing things around, so I don't know whether you're wanting to renovate or wanting to change some aspect of your environment, but I'm picking that up. Definite changes on the wing. Now, I feel like you've come through or come out of a passage of quarrels and defeat and feeling like there's just a lot of pressure, a lot of opposition around you. But at the point that I'm seeing you at now, I'm getting a spiritual connection with listening to your intuition, listen to your gut feelings, follow your heart, but also allow your head reason. I am also seeing here dealings with the law. I'm seeing you looking back on things and learning. So the law may be a symbol of, again, being cautious. Don't rush into things. Don't do things that are silly or can get you into trouble. I feel like you have to face up to reality in some way. In your environment, I am feeling that you have been avoided, probably because there is a desire not to have a confrontation. This may be with somebody around you in some form. You might be feeling like they're not listening or they're avoiding discussion or topics. But these topics you've got to ask, are they ending up in arguments? And if that is the answer you're getting, yes, then you must cease talking about these things if they're just going to go to arguments, because otherwise they're going to be avoiding you completely. Now, what I do see here is I see a male. He's in and out of the picture. To me, he's like the one that is in and out of your life. In some way, there's like that floating Prince Charming. He's not there all the time. You don't know where you stand with him, but he's around. And that becomes frustrating. I see you becoming withdrawn around this person. It's like trying to work them out or trying to figure out what they want, because at one point you feel like there's nothing there, and then they're giving you this glimmer of hope, and then you're, well, where is this all going? And I feel this is where there may be that refusal to discuss things because of the fact that it ends up in arguments, because you want to know where you stand. And I feel like you're reflecting on things. I see you looking back on things. There's a connection there with your past, definitely, that's making you see where your whole life, where am I going? Where is this going? So there's a lot of questions that I pick up around you, Teresa. What I do see is there will be a decision made over work and relationships. Don't combine the two is my advice. So I'll leave that with you. I hope that's helped you today. And I'm going to I might do 2 more, and that'll be it, because it's already 8:30 here in Sydney. So let's have a look. Who else is there? Okay, Sharra. Did I do Sharra? No, I did Sharon. Okay. So I'll turn this paper over. Sharra. Ooh, okay. 13th of February 1974. Happy belated birthday. Okay, so where are we? 1974. So you're an old soul, Sharra, and once more, you are definitely you're ruled by Jupiter. I feel that with you, where are we? Okay. I'm getting told that when you're hurting, you bounce back with a joke to try to cover up your feelings. I'm also being told that you've had your share of people going out of your life. The change, the transition, a lot happening, but you try to sort of, okay. Now, Sharra, I don't know whether I don't know, this is so weird. I feel like I've got a whole team of medical people on tonight. I'm just getting the hospital symbol, wham, right in my face. Hospital, hospital, hospital. What is this with hospital? Someone give me some enlightenment here. Sharra, I'm so sorry, but I'm definitely getting this. Okay, what's this? The ones that were meant to get one today, get one. I got a fake out. Story. I don't understand what you mean, Stephanie. I haven't even done yours yet. I don't know whether you're trying to be sarcastic. I try to look at a positive on these things. You're welcome, Veronica. Okay. So Stephanie, look, if you put your date of birth up again, I'll do yours, but obviously when I was looking at the screen I saw the two close together and I obviously began reading yours, but the actual tarot reading was for the other person. So, you know, if, no offense, but if you're going to leave some, you know, smart ass remarks back at me, it's really uncalled for because it wasn't intentional. I'm trying to be fair to everybody here. So sorry if I don't know what this, I got a fake out. I don't know what that means. Are you calling me a fake? Okay, so be it. Okay, so I'm going to move on here. So I'm looking at your path that you're in this year. This is for Sharra. And I'm seeing, okay, I'm seeing you sorting out things. I'm getting a need for you to sort out a budget there. I'm also getting this, it's like, okay, Sharra, I feel like you're trying to be strong, giving people the illusion that you are coping with things, but there may be pressure around you in some form. I feel like you've got people you can turn to, but you don't want to worry them. I feel like there's a link also. I'm getting a lot of people talking about an older female. Okay, now I've got someone here saying Betty. So I don't know who Betty is to you. Betty. Okay, so you're a nurse. All right. Well, see, I'm getting this like this image of hospital hitting me in the face, and this is where. All right. So interesting. You know, it's funny. I've got a lot of people who are in medical profession that do have readings with me. How do you choose who you do? I'm just randomly choosing Karen, Nanny Fox. I'm just going, you know, like where I see if I haven't done theirs, then I will do theirs. It's not a matter of, you know, the first one, because the people are typing and I've got the random dates all over the place. I'm just, you know, randomly looking at the screen and then going to whichever. All right, so I'm trying to sort of like interact with you at the same time here, but this is where it's at. I mean, at the moment, I'm trying to be fair to everyone, but as I said in the beginning, I can't do everybody. There was a mention by that, what's that woman, Stephanie. So, you know, if you're upset that I didn't do your reading, I mean, it wasn't intended to do yours at that particular time. Your date of birth, obviously, when I looked at the screen, I was writing it down. I look up and I accidentally added your date of birth instead of the lady that I was going to do. So, no, I won't be able to get through everybody tonight. But Stephanie, I'll make it a point to do yours next if you put your date of birth up. But please, no smart remarks. I really don't need it. I'm giving my time for nothing here, and you know, it'd be nice if you could appreciate it. You don't have to agree with me, but you know, just a little bit of politeness. Okay, so I am getting that around you, Sharra, as trying to juggle everything, trying to be patient and collected at the same time, and not worrying or stressing others out. And you might also be trying to avoid blowouts, if that makes sense to you. So if there's anyone around you who's trying to be, you know, saying something, it's sort of like, I'm not going to even retaliate because it's only going to, you know, cause an argument. It's not worth it. I see where it's all going, blah blah blah. So I do feel like you're going to be trying to sort things out, and very much so around a budget this year as well. So I'll leave that with you. Now I'm going to, Betty is your nana. Okay, because I heard someone say Betty. Now I'm not saying this is the name of the spirit, but I heard of Betty being mentioned here. Okay, now that's okay. Well, it's hard to tell when, as you can understand, Stephanie, that, you know, when people type something, you don't know how they're typing it, you know, whether they are being nasty or, you know, I mean, in this field you do get a lot of people that can be that way. But all right, well, as I said, I'm randomly selecting. So I will definitely do yours if you provide your date of birth. So thank you for confirming that you weren't being rude. I mean, I'm a little sensitive. Pardon the pun. All right, so I'm going to focus now on Sharra Artz. What an interesting name. Okay, Sharra Artz. Artz is a very interesting name. I've never heard of that before. Very creative. All right, so Sharra Artz. Okay, Sharra Artz. Okay. Now what I see here, Sharra, I'm seeing a celebration coming. This to me shows me people coming together. It's like, to me, around family. Now there's a celebration. It's like a new birth of a life in some way. Sometimes, and I do have to make mention of this only because of the fact that what's coming through the rest of the cards, there appears to be a female maternal figure. I'm seeing people rushing towards this person. I get this vision. I'm hearing no one wants to leave. Nobody wants to leave. I feel like I've got someone around me talking, and they're mumbling as well. They're talking about nobody wants to leave. but they're planning things and they're talking about what do I want. Now, that's really weird. I mean, you've got here, my Nana Betty's still here. I'm assuming that's here, but in a nursing home with dementia, we all love and tend to her. Okay, so there is something to do with, I don't know whether, and this is really interesting, I'm going to have to ask Spirit about this. I won't be able to do it at this point because I'm trying to fit the reading in, but what I have found is sometimes when if there are older people, they tend to sleep a lot, and if they're sleeping, they're having a lot of astral projection, which means these out-of-body experiences can also be their way of experiencing the astral plane, if that makes sense to you. So if she is having a lot of sleeping, I mean, old people sleep, let's face it, they're like babies. They do have that, I mean, hey, I sleep a lot too if I can. They are like babies. They have that need for sleep because of the energy that they, you know, they need to have that rest. But I'm getting this is a female talking about they don't want to leave. They don't want to leave. And what I'm also being shown, I feel like they're comfortable, and I'm not feeling like they have crossed over. So don't get me wrong. As in the presence, usually, and I'll give you a bit of an example too, new souls that are, because I'm hearing them, but I'm not seeing them. So that says something too. New souls are very illuminate. It's like they are a white light. Every essence of their being is light. It is so bright, it's almost white. And yet you know there is a being there. But I'm not seeing this one, I'm hearing it. So it may be that as I'm tuning into you, I'm connecting with her conscience in some form. I heard Betty, so very, very clear, very loud. For a moment, I was taken a bit aback because of the fact that it was like it was right up near where I'm talking directly into the mic. So it'll be interesting to, you know, play back and see if there is anyone who can hear that. But I mean, when Spirit talk to me, sometimes they're talking directly at me and not into my equipment. I don't know, don't ask me how they do it. I just deliver the information. What I am getting though is that there is it's like people not wanting to go, not wanting to, someone's got to be there pretty much checking them. I see a hairdresser around them, so I don't know whether they're getting their hair done or there's something to do with their hair getting done, but I'm seeing a hairdresser. It's like they're cutting their hair, and they're not alone. There's definitely no loneliness with them. But I'm not talking about the ones that are visiting her. I'm going to move on. I feel like there's a lot of focus on, okay, people need to, I'm going to say there's someone, it's like, I don't know whether they're getting overly emotional over things, or there's bickering about medication, because what I'm seeing here is discussion about how things should be and something being changed. And it may not be discussed. So I'll leave that with you. I'm getting all different mixed messages here. Is there a discussion? And I'm just going to put this out here because what I'm getting is I want to go home. I'm hearing I want to go home. So I don't know what this is meaning to you at the moment, but I'm just going to pass it on and then move on with this reading. So thank you, whoever is around who may be presenting messages, whether they be from the other side or from the living here, who without wanting to or unable to voice in some way. Thank you for presenting yourself. Okay. Sharra Artz. What is happening with Sharra Artz? Okay. Sharra Artz. Do not allow yourself to get in an emotional tug-of-war with family. Sharra Artz, Sharra Artz, Sharra Artz. Okay. You appear to be... I don't know whether you are beginning to have change of feelings or emotions. That it's like that moving forward, seeing or being more on a, okay, now this is what's going to happen and this is what's next, and being more, okay, I hear you, but I need to be able to focus on what I'm doing here, please. It's like that working off the textbook, working off what I know, if that makes sense to you. I don't know whether this makes sense to you, but I have to try and put it in those words. There's discussion about travel. I see, I don't know whether the UK fits in, because I'm actually seeing United Kingdom, and I'm hearing all different types of personalities. They seem to be laughing, they seem to be celebrating, they seem to be very light-hearted, but there's an emotional thing over a male, and I'm seeing United Kingdom. Oh my God, I've got a man here now. Oh yes, if there is anyone who comes through, please leave your messages till after. I'll try to pass them all on. He's talking about his son and tires and his wife, and I'm getting all these like all over the place here. Okay. Now I see the connection with the hospital crossing your path. So obviously, I mean, again, I'm getting that it's like that crossing with the hospital, things easing. As I said, the hospital symbol was in my face all night long here. I see the reconciliation. I see people coming together. What I'm also picking up here, okay, Sharra, you're going to be definitely changing things around you, but don't be too clingy with belongings. There's going to be a need for you to sort things out, and whatever you don't need to hold on to, get rid of it, because I feel like you may be becoming a little bit of a hoarder to some degree there. Now, all right, now I don't know whether there's a lot of females on your side. I see two women who are very close to one another, and I don't know whether this is to do with your grandmother either. And this is why, I mean, when things come through, I prefer any questions like till the end of the reading type of thing, but I don't have time for questions. But I'm seeing two women, and they seem to be on either side of another female, very similar, very, very fair, fair, petite, The watch is no longer on. Something about the watch is no longer on. I'm seeing a black wristband watch, and I also pick up glasses beside me, but what's the point in wearing them? I'm seeing a partner that you're also focused on. I see what appears to be the father symbol, or in this case an older male, because he's graying at the temples. He's in the environment, and I see people helping, like sorting things out or helping with payments, something to do with the male. But I feel like what's weird, I'm getting forgive me if I'm wrong, Sharra, I'm getting this, I'm getting like a very strong female who almost has like the mind of a male, if I'm to use that term correctly. I'm seeing, it's like they get upset very easily. But I feel like you get upset easily. I don't know who this person is, but I feel like there's a connection. I'm getting a link there. I'm getting talking about things, feeling like we still have a long way to go. Your partner is from the UK? Okay. Well, that's good. There's a link with the UK there. That's making more sense to me then. Do you mind if I ask who the masculine female would be? I'm looking at your picture here next to your name, where you've got my partner is from the UK and that, and your nan says that you don't look like masculine, but I'm picking up a male. Oh my goodness, I am actually seeing that there's going to be some disruptions. I feel like someone is, okay, there's a lot to do with medical around your family. I feel your family in particular, I don't know whether there's like a string of you in the medical field, but this is the caring nature that I'm getting, and I feel like there's this female who is hurting her back, but she seems to be very masculine, and I see her to be, you know, she's lifting someone up, but her back becomes twisted in some form, and I don't know whether this is so weird. I'm just getting all these flashes. I'm seeing the female, she twists her back in some way, she has to sit down, there's someone rubbing the back of her. I don't know whether there's been like a pulled muscle or something to do with the back, but I'm seeing them like, oh, there's like this, they let out a scream. I don't even know where I'm going with this. These aren't making any sense as I'm saying what I'm seeing. It's making me cringe, actually. Yeah, there's a lot of females on your side. Okay, so, but oh boy, I also feel around you to be either divorced or having been in a very challenged type of relationship in your past, and some part of you has changed. You've decided that is enough of that. I'm going that way. I don't know what that way, what way, that. I don't know. I'm going all over the place here, and I don't have time to figure it all out. But I'm passing that all on anyway. So I do hope it helps you in some way. It's getting late. Long day. All right. So now we have Stephanie. Okay, so I hope that's helped you in some way, Sharra. Okay, so Stephanie Newton, 13th of July 1975. Let's work out your path. 1975. Okay, So you're the one that I connected with, either being overseas or having connections with people from other countries. And I do feel like cross water. You're always going to be fortunate enough, Stephanie, to keep your feet on the ground. No matter what happens in your life, you'll always come out on top. There will always be opportunities for you to get around things that sometimes very difficult to deal with in any particular way. So I feel like you've got that patience. You're also the kind of peacemaker that I see in people, which is interesting. So I do get that, trying to bring peace, trying, sometimes it's when I see this person tries to help others, they're very generous, and they sometimes get overly generous. It's like to the point where they feel an obligation to help other people out of ruts if they're having a financial problem, if they're going through some issue. And this can also lead you to certain jobs that focus around, I'll just move that up, your partner is female, she's masculine. Laugh out loud. Okay, phew, I was worried what I was getting, and I've got to be careful what I say. Okay, so Stephanie, I feel like with you, even if you were to do something connecting with travel, if you were to do something connecting with communication with other people, in bringing a peace into their life, this would be ideally suited for you with work. But I feel you've also got to separate your emotions, because you do tend to get a little emotional and melancholy. You do have a lesson in this life, and that is to let go of the past, because I feel a lot of what you go through and what you deal with every day is dictated by your lessons in the past. And this may be where you hold on to a lot of things. You might even be too scared to let go of memories and people in some way, and that might make it a little tough for you. Now let's have a look at the path you're on this year. Okay, so this year does give you opportunity of having celebrations, but at the same time, you're your own worst enemy. So do not beat yourself up for things that, you're going to be outspoken. You're going to say things, hello, that makes sense. Okay, so you're going to be saying things that it's like changing your feet out of your mouth kind of effect. I also see you going through sorting out clothes. I'm seeing a lot of bags with old clothes in them, changing things around your environment. Furniture is being moved out and new furniture coming in. Now this may be from other people. There's something being given to you or donated or handed down in some way, because I'm seeing the connection with that. I'm seeing changes in friendships occurring this year. I'm also getting the connection with the link through someone who puts you in touch with someone from your past. You're actually ruled by your controller, I should say, is Mercury. I feel that with you, be careful of migraines, even vertigo. What I also pick up here is you can at times you need to use things in a creative way. All right, I get you love beautiful things, you're fond of rich colors. I get music, but not your typical type of music. You like to be different. I also feel you feel like you have to be responsible for things. Okay. I'm seeing an opportunity to have a high position in life through people you come into contact with. Now, I'm going to give you your lucky numbers. Where are we? go back here, and your lucky numbers are 3, 6, 12, 21 and 24, and grey is your lucky color, light grey. March, June and December are your luckiest months, but be careful of, you know, I mean, with those who are ruled by Mercury, they often, and this is a little bit of a warning here, they can often go mad. I'm putting it blunt, they can go mad because of the fact that they allow things to consume them. They worry over things before they've even had a chance to happen. It's like they already have determined an outcome to something and have given up and resorted to the outcome before they've had a chance to experience the changes. Now I'm going to have a look here in what your husband's dad is from Germany. Okay, so this is their connection that will definitely come through with meeting people from other countries and being them in your life. So there's there's a least opportunity of those in their sixth life to be marrying or settling down with someone from their own culture. As in, you know, if they're Australian, they're not going to be settling down with an Australian. They're going to be settling down with someone from overseas. Okay, now let's have a look here. Stephanie Newton, Spirit, tell me what is happening with Stephanie Newton. Okay. Stephanie Newton. You're very house proud, Stephanie. I also feel like you take on a lot of responsibility, and it's like, okay, I see there's a connection with someone who works outdoors. I don't know whether there's a person in the building trade around you, but I am definitely getting building. I'm seeing like things being built, homes, fencing, building. I'm definitely getting building. I hate people who repeat themselves, and I'm doing just that. Okay, next. Now I see what appears to be giving up on plans, and you've got a very suspicious mind, Stephanie. Don't jump to conclusions. I also see what appears to be okay, so I'm actually picking up, okay, sorry, I'm just looking at these cards here. I'm seeing what appears to be, whether it's someone who is wanting to study something or learn a skill, a different skill. I see arguments developing around it, and it's taking on too much. I just get that feeling of there's too many pipe dreams and not enough promises that are being kept. It's more like broken promises that are as a result of what is around you at present. I'm going to have a look at the rest of these cards. Stephanie Newton. Stephanie Newton. Stephanie Newton. Okay, so we are focused a lot on the past, Stephanie. A lot of who you are is a direct result of your past. And I do see a lot of connection with older people, not just mother and father here, but I'm getting a connection. I don't know whether it's like living in a home that also has the grandparents in the home with them. But I'm getting this feeling of there's like a generation thing of people around you. I also see there is something being avoided at the moment. I feel like you're wanting to just walk away and do your own thing. You seem to be getting frustrated with the way things are going in your life at present. Again, be careful. There's not too many, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, unless you're prepared to actually commit yourself to one thing. But I actually get that feeling of needing to write a list, because you can't work without a list. You go overboard. It's like when you go in a shopping center without some type of purpose of getting one thing or another, you're walking out with half the shopping center. Because I'm seeing you, I don't know whether you bulk up on things. I feel like this is something is passed down. Someone, what's with the tissue boxes? I'm seeing tissue boxes all of a sudden. Now, what I'm also picking up around you, Stephanie, is that looking at things through rosy colored glasses. Now, what I feel is that you need to take those shades off that are preventing you from seeing things for what they really are. I get that blockage in some way. It's like you're ready to you could get a person who is absolutely no good and put them up on a pedestal. You will always try to see the best in a person, but here I'm seeing suspicion. I'm getting doubts. I'm getting this feeling of, I don't know who I can trust around me. Even friendships are coming into this. It's like, do I trust people who are making me promises at the moment? Your past is showing me the connection there with youth. I do feel like at the moment you're trying to be like taking things in moderation. You're trying to have this time out, taking a different approach towards what you want to do, but you're very, very apprehensive is what I get. Now, what I'm also seeing here is a person who is withdrawn to some degree. If you've been feeling like you don't want to, even when you're around people, you don't want to really interact, you just switched off, your mind is elsewhere, it's because you've got a lot going on, and I'm getting it's like changing the path, changing a different direction altogether around yourself, wanting to do different things, try out new things, experiment in some way, but there is a resistance. There's that, can I trust myself here? Your environment also is showing me a connection with health in some way, healing, need for bed rest around somebody. The connection with healing may also pertain to whatever has been lost is needing to be recovered through a strength that promotes healing at the same time. Actually see you're worried about money, because what's coming up is a financial battle. It's like sometimes I see this image and I've got to try and decipher what the message is here, because I see it's like a person wants to leave a job but they don't. Whether they are in a position of being held to a particular type of need or responsibility that it requires that money. There's something about the money and the security I feel as though is making you feel like you just can't see your way forward. There's a lot of emphasis that I'm picking up as looking back or feeling like switched off, if that makes sense. Now, what I am actually seeing here is a male who's very stubborn, very authoritative in his own way. It's like the sea captain is how I see him. A mature man. He appears to be... Okay, now I'm seeing this. He's a parent, so he's definitely a father in some form. I feel like he is leading towards... Now you're saying your husband's father is from Germany, but what I'm seeing here is something coming up pertaining to the marriage, and it's like the battle in some way. There is something that is being discussed that's going to be changing the path around the environment. So I don't know whether there is, oh no, I don't want to make anyone cry. So the good thing is it's connecting with you. That's the most important thing. But I feel like there is going to be something that presents itself, but at the same time I feel like there's going to be a bit of opposition there. I'm seeing the male. He has an honest face, but he seems to make decisions before. I don't know whether they're not talking with you about decisions, but I'm seeing decisions, and it's like, now you tell me, why didn't you discuss this with me? I'm also seeing a change of vehicle coming up for you as well. So I will leave that with you. Otherwise, I'm just going to go crazy with this particular reading. But there's so much in your path there. I'm not seeing a lot of bad things. I feel like there's just a lot of mental anguish and worry over your future and the finances. But with the male, there's something coming up to do with the partnership or marriage itself. I'm not seeing it ending, so don't think that. I feel like there's going to be discussions. All right, so you've got 2 tissue boxes. So there's the tissue boxes. Okay, that's good that it's connected. So the information coming through is great with spirit. So this is what helps me to know that I'm getting the right information. Otherwise, I have to dismiss whoever is providing me the information through the spirit realm. So I'll move on now, and I'm going to do just one last person. Let's have a look on the list. I'm going to go and see, just so that I'm not missing anyone and they can't say, Karen, you didn't do mine. Karen Nanny Fox, did I do yours? Let me have a look at my... No, I didn't do Karen. Okay, well, I'll make yours last. Karen Nanny Fox, please make sure you haven't had a reading by me in any way within the last 3 months. If you have, then it may not make any sense to you. Just a warning. All right, let's have a look here. All right, so Karen, you were born in hard times. I'm actually getting a feeling of almost having to ration things around when you were little. I don't know whether there was a situation of a lot of tension in the home. I feel like I've got people like these big adults raising their voices all the time and feeling a little frightened there. I feel like there's this discussion over where you stand, what responsibility you have, feeling like you've got to be careful of asking for something because it's going to leave that person upset, or you may be just trying to watch everything, if that makes sense to you. It's like, you know, you don't want to make anyone feel like you're wanting anything. I get a very, very conscious type of young person around you, but at the same time I feel like there's a lot of anger in some way. You tend to also, from what I'm being shown here, is that you're in your 5th life, and throughout this life, one of your biggest lessons will be how to walk away from an argument. You want to stand there and fight back because you've got that fighting spirit within you, but you have to allow things to let go. I'm getting these different signs around me, Karen, that you might also question about love, because what I'm actually seeing here is a lot of questioning going on. But you need to know you were wanted, you were loved, very much so, but things were very tough. I'm getting there was a lot of tough things going on when you were little. So I'm going to leave that with you, because I don't want it to get to a point where it's increasingly like too personal. I'm going to have a look now at the path you're on this year. I feel like this year is going to present with a lot of change that ends friendships and certain relationships around you. Expect this to be a year where nothing's going to stay the same. You also will be going through that phase of change that eliminates people out of your life that are no longer needed or necessary. You may even find people going off in different directions just because their life is beginning to change. I feel though that with you, you may be having a lot of broken sleep this year. Don't be surprised if you're restless to the point where you're feeling thirsty, because I get a lot of drink around you, not alcohol, but a lot of dryness around, you know, the throat area and so on. What I'm also seeing here is a need for you to see how far you've come, how far you've traveled, because this is the time of your life where you stand at the top of that hill and you look back and reflect on everything that's brought you to where you are today. And this is where you have to embrace this moment, learn from everything that's happened so you can move forward in a more positive way. You have to close the chapter on this book, I'm being told. This is not a time for you to keep holding on to anything from the past. Do that spring clean. Get rid of things that are no longer needed or appropriate in your life. I do feel that this is going to be a time where you're also going to be quite tested, but you do have the promise of new beginnings also, and of talk of travel as well. Travel may be more of a, daydream type of travel, thinking about getting away, having that plan, but doesn't actually necessarily manifest until next year. So I feel like next year is going to be where you start fresh. You've got a new opportunity around you. Whatever changes go on this year, know that it's expired. It's that kind of, connection that I make with that. Also with you, you are controlled by the sun. So you will find that you will need to be very independent a lot of the time. You are a kind of person who is very proud. People close to you, children, those that are, within your immediate situation, you hold a pride. There's this sense of pride, and it's like reflecting and just watching how they grow, watching how everything transpires around them. But I feel that at times you are, it's like holding on to regret in some form, feeling like you could have done better or you could have done this. So don't become your own worst enemy. Now let's have a look at what your cards say. And this is for Karen. Karen Nanny Fox. I think that's what your name was. Okay. Oh. Okay. Karen Nanny Fox. So you've been diagnosed with sleep apnea. Well, there we go. There's the restless sleep. Okay, Karen Nanny Fox. What has Spirit got to tell her? Alright, so at present, they're telling me that you seem to be emotionally broken. They talk about, in some way, there's been some element of a blessing that has changed direction. Something has taken one step back. They're also speaking of, again, having to be real about something that has occurred. They show me what appears to be things going in separate directions. The change has occurred. It's already happened, they're saying. They tell me that you have someone who's going to be putting your plans into action very soon. And they may be giving you some advice as well. Karen Nanny Fox. Karen Nanny Fox. Okay, let's have a look. Alright, now again, I see you reflecting on the past, Karen. I get those images of looking back on things, but you seem to be having, it's like the daydreams as well, looking back at where things have been in your life, a part of your life which has changed. It's gone, and now you've got some new opportunities around you, but you might not be ready to embrace them fully yet. I get disagreements in the family. I feel like there's a challenge that is happening, and it seems to put you off guard. Now again, I use that example of, if you say the sky is blue, someone will say it's green, just to be difficult. And I see that no matter what you do, you're going to have this issue that seems to drain you emotionally, and it can also affect finances. What I also feel is that someone around a work situation may be causing you to make a decision that you may regret in some form. Don't be pushed into anything. Feel what is needed from you at the moment and just be patient. I feel like there's someone who's just trying to stir up things or look for something to pick on. The other thing that I'm seeing here is you appear to be losing interest as well. So if this is a case of, I'm no longer interested in what I do, my whole feelings towards what I do for a living or the people that are in my life are changing. I am losing that passion that I had. Sometimes this can turn up when a person no longer feels those butterflies when they look across the room at their loved one. Things change. There are definite changes that are happening around you. I also see though, Karen, in your past, that even around people, you were very much the loner. I get a loner type of personality with you. Not intentional. I don't feel it was intentional. I just feel like there's a loneliness. There's this soul searching. Why am I here? What do I need to do in my life to change things for the better? So there's a lot of questioning, a lot of needing to understand what your direction in life is. So this might have been where you became more spiritual. I feel like there's that spiritual energy around you anyway, so I don't know whether this was as a result of losing somebody or having some type of impact in your life that helped you sort of break away from the norm, looking at other things to sort of boost that focus and confidence within yourself. Now, the other thing that I'm picking up here is you will be pleased with yourself in some way. You might be sorting things out at the moment, and I am seeing you feeling quite confident in sharing out or getting bills paid out of the way. There's something that you'll be paying off. It may be a debt that's hanging around your neck in some form. I do see a lot of activity in your environment, a lot of quick decisions. Be careful you don't jump into something that is going to mess things up. So it's time to take your time. I am seeing that your future is showing me new opportunity with money. So whatever is going on at the moment, try to hang in there, because I do see a better outcome, especially where security is concerned. I feel like you're going to become in a stronger position than what you already are. Nothing is predestined, but the path you're on at the moment, if you play your cards right, is going to give you great results. I also see you talking with somebody to do with either, I don't know whether there's like a heartburn that you're getting, but I'm not diagnosing here, but I'm actually seeing what appears to be heartburn or reflux. So just be aware of that and try to be careful on the milk or spicy things. But I feel like there may be milk incorporated more into your diet, believe it or not. Well, that's been your reading. I will have to close tonight's session now because I've been on for a few hours, and I want to make sure that this saves. So thank you for everyone who participated in tonight's reading. I hope it gave you a lot of direction. I hope it gave you, what's this going on here? I've got showing up. What is that? Something went wrong. Okay. I don't know what went wrong. Let's see if it's still going. Okay, so alright, who's giving me angry faces? Stephanie and Suzanne Spinks, thank you so much for the angry face. I don't know what that's for, but yeah, that's sad. Okay, well, I hope that you've had a great night. Those of you who aren't seeing this, I don't know what's happening. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to leave it there, but I hope that it's given those that have had a reading tonight some insight into their circumstances and possibly a hope and faith for the future. Remember that sometimes our angels do put us in different paths for a reason. Their way of taking us from one path to another can be very abrupt. If they see, it's like if you think about a train on the track, and at the end of the track there's no, like, the track just stops and it's over the top of a precipice and there's a complete drop ahead. Those angels will abruptly steer that train off track, which means that it's taking you from what you think is a smooth ride ahead into something that becomes very rocky in its path, because once they take you off the track, there's no other track to put you on until they have steered you clear of that precipice. So if you think of a situation you're going through that might be very difficult to deal with, very difficult to handle, know that this is probably your angels stepping in, saving you from something worse. And that when they grab you out of a situation and move you out of the path, you're going to feel its effects. And sometimes it shakes a lot of things up in your life, and it's like, oh my God, when is this going to stop? But if you think about it being like a train off the tracks, and it's rolling across the rocky ground, you're going to be tossed about emotionally, mentally, physically. Everything is going to go in all different directions in your life, but it could have been worse. Anyway, I'm going to close that here. Thank you once again for allowing me to have a look into your lives in some way, and pass on some of those messages from those beautiful spirit beings that were here, especially the playful ones who made me giggle a few times. But thank you once again, and I'll try and do a few more of these in time. Don't forget, if you want to book readings, please do so with my staff. They're having early nights when I do these anyway, because I don't want them to be sitting up all night long. They've got a life too, you know, they can't sit 24 hours taking bookings, and a lot of times they have gone above and beyond the call of duty. I've had ones that have actually, you know, slept with their computer beside them, responding to people at ridiculous hours, and I wouldn't be able to do it without them. But anyway, I will let you go and hopefully bless you with a positive week ahead. And anyway, I'm rambling. Have a great night. Bye for now.